I've been in London, of course, and the excitement was palpable. The excitement was absolutely in the air, and it was so much fun meeting so many of you. And I know that a lot of you got a chance to have a little jump in and kind of get a glimpse, if you will, by looking at the live streams. I think the live streams were a really good idea, and I think that they worked really, really well. The only thing I would say is that at Waterloo Station, and I would imagine this is probably true of a lot of train stations, it's really not a good Wi-Fi connection at all, right? The Wi-Fi connection is atrocious. It's horrible. And so I was having to like stream on my phone. Obviously, when it was busy, the connection was dropping out. So, I mean, that was a problem. The sound was not great on the first day. I managed to fix it the second day by buying a microphone and everything. But yeah, there was a lot of technical things that I was battling whilst trying to get that stream going. And of course, constantly moving around. So, I mean, you're constantly having to move the laptop. If you move the laptop, then all of a sudden it knocks the connection. It's a nightmare. It was a nightmare. So that side of things was a nightmare. So I feel like you got a taste, you got a glimpse, but I don't think that the full whack of that event was really coming across. As I said, the excitement, seeing people's faces, seeing the amount of people that were milling around, overhearing certain conversations, having and being a part of certain conversations, people's thoughts, and just there was so much that was going on. Obviously, D-Lo was there, and Bill was there, and you lot were there, or many of you were there, and it was absolutely brilliant. I mean, it's been 4 years since I did a meet and greet, 4 years since the last Wrestling Shop Live, and all I can say is there is no way I am going to wait another 4 years, because it was so much fun. It was so enjoyable. I'm so grateful to everyone that came out. That I won't. We will. If I have to sort some up myself, I will sort some up myself. But the hope is that we do a Wrestling Shop Live again next year as well. So yeah, we'll have to see as to how that goes. Days, the only opportunity I'll get to meet you is down the drain, says Riot is Liv. Days, just interested, when you watch Carmelo's debut and he gave a cringy promo to Adam Cole, did you think he would reach the heights he's done today? I genuinely don't remember his debut. I mean, to be honest, I think when we were getting like NXT 2.0, which I think is when Carmelo first arrived, was it that, or was it even a bit before that? But to be honest, I can't remember the first time I saw Carmelo Hayes. I can't remember that promo with Adam Cole. The only thing I can say is that I think where he is now is in a really good place. And I think the match he had against Baron Corbin on Tuesday, I actually think might be my favorite Carmelo Hayes match out of all of his matches. I think that he's always had like a confidence and he can always talk. I would say, though, I do question if he actually ever says anything, because he talks a lot about being him and talks about being the guy and all that kind of stuff. But there's not really many lines that stick with me. I can't really think about too many things that he said where I've gone, oh, I like that. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's nice. I can't really, it just seems very play by numbers, paint by numbers, just seems very, I don't know, pretty straightforward stuff. I mean, it's not bad, but it's just not maybe memorable either. I think they've really drilled into the him thing, which I think is good. But promo-wise, I can't say that he's a standout. I can't say he's Rowdy Roddy Piper or MJF at the moment or anything like that. But he does enough to get by. In ring, I think he's fun, very athletic. I love his fade away, that bouncing off the rope, doing the leg drop. I really enjoy that. I think he's solid in ring, but to be honest, even his in ring I thought was good. But I don't know that I saw that match that really made me go, wow, yeah, get it. Until Baron Corbin. I mean, the Carmelo Hayes character and everything that was building around him Definitely, I knew that there was Summit there. I knew, not from the start. I'm not talking about the start. I'm just talking about as, little things started to get added along the way. So as we really started to drill into the him thing, and as his matches started to, get a little tighter, you could tell that we were getting somewhere. We were going somewhere. Many people might feel different, but I feel like we arrived in that Baron Corbin match. I feel like that Baron Corbin match for me is a bit of a cherry on top of the cake. I feel like that is the first time I think I can remember going wow, like that. It gave me the wow moment. So yeah, it's great to see him where he is, and apparently there's a lot of high ups that think he is going to be I saw the words mega star, so don't know. There's a high expectation of Carmelo Hayes. Whether he's going to reach that, I don't know. Obviously, we know that height can be a little bit of a problem. We know that traditionally has been a barrier, but that's been a barrier under Vince. Is it going to be a barrier under Triple H? Because to be honest, if Triple H is not going to see it as a problem and he's going to put him and book him in big matches and big moments, yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see where we get with Carmelo Hayes. So very exciting. I had a few conversations about Carmelo Hayes during Wrestling Shop Live, and there's a real good feeling towards him. There's a real good vibe towards Carmelo Hayes. He's definitely got the people on his side, and that's half the battle, innit? It's more than half the battle. Serge said, I thought Daze's assistant was going to be doing this stream. Yeah, AP, for those that didn't watch the Wrestling Shop live streams, AP came along, and he just came to Wrestling Shop, and he was really chatty, really talkative. He really knew his stuff, but he's very charismatic as well. And so when I was talking to people, I would just say to him, do you want to jump on and advertise your thing? Well, I mean, I'd turn around and he was answering chats, and, I was looking in the chat. People are like, we want AP, on proper streams and all this kind of stuff. He got himself over. He totally LA Knighted the situation, and he got himself over. So fair play to him. I mean, he is him. So, I've had a lot of people saying that they want to see AP again. In all fairness, I want to see AP again. So, I need to get in touch with him. And because I think he's set up an Instagram now. So, I'm going to get in touch with him. Definitely get him as a guest on the web. And then, we'll take it a step at a time. But, people really enjoyed seeing him throughout the 2 days, him jumping on the streams and everything. He's a great guy as well. Just chatting with him, on and off stream, he's a really cool guy. So we'll definitely do more there. Christopher said PW Insider is saying that Cody against Dominic is going to main event Money in the Bank. Well, the biggest rumor at Wrestling Shop Live, and in all fairness, this probably came from someone on Twitter anyway, right? So you guys probably know this anyway. But the one thing people kept coming in, not everyone, of course, but a lot of people kept coming in going, have you heard? Did you hear Brock, right? Brock. I mean, it was just Brock. I think Brock's even trending. So Brock is seemingly going to be a part of Money in the Bank, going to get involved with Cody. So, I mean, look, that match being main event, Brock's got to be involved, surely. I can't imagine we're doing Cody against Dominic and then just Cody wins clean. I don't know. It doesn't really strike me as main event worthy, that one. Doesn't strike me as an epic battle. So I'm thinking there must be, and I'm sure you're thinking, there must be another reason for it. And I think we're all thinking Brock. And that was the word on the street in London as well. Ryan Gambler said, Days, hello. What are your predictions for tonight? Well, I've said I genuinely don't know, and I genuinely don't know. So I don't know anything that's gone down tonight. So I can give you my predictions. I can only predict 2 matches because I only know 2 matches. And The two matches I know are Sami and KO against Pretty Deadly and Asuka against Charlotte, right? They're the only two matches that are on the official preview for tonight. And I think they're the only two matches I knew going into tonight anyway. So I can only talk about those. The one thing I would say is there was a real thought that Pretty Deadly might be given the nod. And I must admit, I really want them to do it. I love Sami, and I wanted Sami to beat Roman. But Pretty Deadly, you see, the thing is, to me, this was Sami and Kevin, right? Sami and Kevin, I didn't even really think about it. Like, Pretty Deadly, I knew were from England, but I didn't really think about it. I thought, oh, they're just there. You know, a bit like Zelina. Zelina was, you know, of Puerto Rican descent. So she had a match at Backlash in Puerto Rico. I kind of felt like, well, Pretty Deadly are English. So they're just on, you know, one of the English shows. Like, that's it. But I was talking to a few people and they were like, yeah, but Pretty Deadly are actually a good team that are worth investing in. And they were NXT UK champs. They were NXT champs. This isn't a Breezango, right? This is a team that you could see becoming champs, tag champs at some point. And then, like, you start thinking, well, do we need Kevin and Sami to keep the titles? I mean, look, I think Sami and Kevin win. Okay, my official pick is that Sami and Kevin retain. That's my official pick. What I want is I want Pretty Deadly. I want Pretty Deadly. And the reason why is because Sami and Kevin don't need the tag titles, right? We did WrestleMania. They main evented WrestleMania. Lovely, lovely. Thank you very much. Don't need to keep going. Unless we're going to be building up the tag division and doing, like, you know, I don't know, Sami and Kevin against DIY, which might be awesome, right? But there's not loads of teams out there I'm looking at thinking, oh, I'd love Sami and Kevin versus, don't know, Street Profit. We've already seen it. Sami and Kevin against Street Profits. I believe that was like the night after WrestleMania, the Raw after WrestleMania. So I feel like we've already seen that match. There's just not many great. So we've seen them against the Usos. New Day aren't what they were. So I'm all right with Sami and Kevin losing the titles. I think it would be a shock. I think that it would be really interesting to see Sami and Kevin lose the belts in London. It would shock the crowds. You know, what next for Sami and Kevin? Like, I think that would be really cool. And it would make Pretty Deadly legit. And they'd be winning them in front of their home fans. So my official pick is that Sami and Kevin win. But I think it would be really cool if it was Pretty Deadly. And then on the other one, Asuka against Charlotte, I think Asuka retains. I feel pretty good about that, actually. Because I was talking to Aaron about this, and I don't think they'll go with Charlotte. The reason why I say that is because she's already a 14-time champion, and as soon as she gets to 16, she's tied with Ric Flair and John Cena, right, for championship reigns. Now, Charlotte strikes me as someone that's still got many, many years in the business, and so WWE actually needs to be a little bit careful. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to do a Bruno Sammartino. You don't want to do a Fabulous Moolah, right? And what I mean by that is set a record that is so far ahead that no one else is going to catch it, right? So Bruno was champ for 7 years. Well, Roman's not going to beat that. In fact, no, I don't think anyone's going to beat that, right? Because it's so ludicrous. It's so much that, like, in order to beat it, someone's going to have to go 7.5 years, 8 years, right? And can you see that happening? Fabulous Moolah was women's champ for 25 years. Now, there's a lot to say about that title reign, an awful lot, but it is recognized as being about 25 years for the Fabulous Moolah. Well, who's going to beat that? Who's going to beat that? So the problem you've got with Charlotte is that not only I think she will beat Ric Flair and John Cena for world title reigns, but you can't have her be a 25-time champ because who's going to beat that? She can't be a 30-time champ. Who's going to beat that? So you've kind of got to be really careful now, I think, right? WWE might not be thinking this way, but they should, right? You've got to be really careful with how many times she is going to win titles because she only needs another couple and then she's right there. And then all of a sudden she's the leader and she can't afford to like massively pull ahead. So what I would say is Asuka against Charlotte tonight. This is, for me, a prime example, right, of us not needing to we don't need to put the title on Charlotte, right? It's fine. Asuka's fine with the belt. It's not like Asuka's last day, is it? It's not like Asuka's last day. Oh my God, we've got no choice. We've got to put it on Charlotte. So for that reason, right? And listen, I could be wrong. I don't know the results. So I could be wrong. Could have got it wrong. You could all be sat there going, it's going to be shocked when he finds out it was Charlotte that wins, right? I don't know the results, but that's my thinking. That's my train of thoughts, is that you can't afford for Charlotte to keep winning championships because then her record is just so far into the future. So, yeah, for that reason, I'm going to go with, going to stick with Asuka. And as I said, I don't know any other matches that have been made for tonight. So, Jason said, good evening from London. After SmackDown is fire, fire, fire. Jason, I'm glad you had a great time, bud. It was a pretty stacked card. I think if you bought a ticket and went to SmackDown, and I was saying this at Wrestling Shop, I think you was pretty much guaranteed to have a great time. Because, I mean, how can that fail with the star power? You know, you're getting 2 title matches. You're getting Logan Paul on Grayson Waller. And listen, what I will say about Logan, and there was plenty of mixed reaction at Wrestling Shop, but what you can say is he's a big star, he's a big name, and everyone has an opinion. I don't think I asked anybody that was on the fence. You either love him or you hate him, right? I don't think I asked anyone that went, yeah, he's all right. It was a lot of like, oh, I really hate him, or I really like him, or not like, oh, yeah, you know, really, I can't think of any of those responses. So even with that, you're going to get a reaction. You're going to get a big reaction, maybe a split reaction. And it's a guaranteed big segment. I don't even need to tell you Roman Reigns being in London is a big deal, right? Roman Reigns just being on the show is a big deal. And then, of course, 2 championship matches as well. And whatever else they had planned, you know. I mean, I'm sure there was other matches, other moments. And hopefully something exciting to pop the crowd. I'm sure there was. So, yeah, I'm expecting a good show tonight. I mean, to be honest, I was really worried we were going to miss this show. So it's just great that I've been able to get back. I walked in the door about half an hour before the stream started, had a coffee, and quickly did like a quick microwave meal. That'll do. And obviously set the camera up, because the camera I used at Wrestling Shop was my actual camera that I stream with. So just quickly had to reattach that, plug it in, get it all sorted, get the sounds and everything set up, and boom, here we are. So yeah, looking forward to it. Portington, shout out to you, says, Days just been to WWE in Newcastle. Now I'm waiting for SmackDown. What a life afterwards. Everyone was singing Seth's song. I'm glad you had a great time, dudes. That's really interesting. The superstars were in Newcastle today as well. I can tell you that there was a meet and greet at the O2 with EO Sky. As well as that, people were bumping into LA Knight. Apparently, he was just around the O2. Someone bumped into Rey Mysterio without his mask on, right? And they went up to him and asked him, are you Rey Mysterio? He went, no, right? And then they looked again, and like it sounded like Rey, and it looked like Rey, and he had a personal shopper. And they eventually did get a picture, and of course, it was Rey. I mean, he had tattoos, which are Rey's tattoos. It was Rey. So got a picture. But when Rey got the picture, like he like covered up his face, made sure you couldn't like see his face as well. I love the idea of going up to like Rey Mysterio, going, are you Rey Mysterio? And he goes, no. Even though he's got all the tattoos, he's not the biggest of guys. He's got a personal shopper. He's probably dripping in like expensive watches. And you Rey Mysterio? No, I'm not, sorry. I'm Bob. I'm Bob from Newcastle. That's my name. So, yeah, he was around as well. Apparently, Pete Dunne did a signing. Butch did a signing as well. Obviously, D'Lo and Droz, the sad, horrific news about Droz passing away. I'll tell you what I was thinking about. I was thinking about the fact that D'Lo is at Wrestling Shop. And I think if you're going to Wrestling Shop, I would probably not mention Droz. Not because D'Lo ever said it was a problem or I ever spoke to him about it, but that's got to be a pretty tough time for D'Lo Brown as well. You know, the D'Lo Brown is very well known for being in that match with Droz that resulted in, you know, Droz's injuries, life-changing injuries, life-threatening injuries, and left him paralyzed, of course. And so I think for a lot of people, when you think D'Lo Brown, you probably think of that moment. Well, you know, how crazy that D'Lo is at Wrestling Shop. I spoke to him today. I spoke to D'Lo today. I spoke to D'Lo on the channel yesterday. And today the news comes through that Droz has sadly passed away. So one of my first thoughts was, I wonder if, and I probably shouldn't have thought this, but I did. I'll be honest. My first thought was, I wonder if D'Lo will still be at Wrestling Shop. I wonder if he'll just turn around to Wrestling Shop and be like, I just, it's too much. I just can't. Because he has to know tonight that tomorrow there's a good chance that the fans are going to be like, really sad news about Droz. He's just going to hear about Droz, isn't he? That's going to be tough, man. That's going to be really tough. And honestly, such a nice guy. Such a nice guy. I know, like, you hear this, like, of people, but if you went to Wrestling Shop, you know that I'm telling the truth. Had time for everyone. A quick story. I said to him, listen, would you mind if we did a quick thing on the stream? And he was like, no problem. You just tell me when, right? I then was talking to people, didn't get chance to get to him. And he got up and started to go. And I just thought to myself, well, it don't matter. I'll grab him tomorrow. Well, we'll do it. We'll do it tomorrow. I thought, no problem. He actually came over to me. He walked over to me. I'm chatting to someone. He starts coming over. I'm like, D'Lo's coming. He starts walking over. And obviously then, you know, we find a way to do it. So in the Wrestling Shop live stream, there is a short segment where I am just quickly talking to D'Lo Brown. His pick for Money in the Bank was Damian Priest. Really interesting thought he had. He thought Damian could win. Finn could win. Damian cashes in on Finn. And it could be on Raw, right, about 24, 48 hours later, which would be very similar to the fact that Finn won the title before and had to drop it so quickly. Because you might remember he was Universal Champ and had to drop the title because of injury. How about if he wins the world title, second world title, and then he drops it 24 hours later, 48 hours later, thanks to a Damian Priest cash-in. Or you could even go big and have Damian Priest actually coming down just moments after Finn has won and cash in at Money in the Bank. Which I thought was some really interesting thoughts, to be honest. I thought there was some really interesting ideas that D'Lo had. So, yeah, but we're getting a bit sidetracked. Obviously, thoughts with Droz and Droz's family. Right, let me scroll up. Bang, 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 bang. Gaming in Real Time said, is the show pre-taped? It is. So the show was live in the UK at 8 p.m. And it finished around 10, I believe, somewhere along those lines. And then they have took the recording and they're going to play it at its normal time in America. So the UK has seen it, right? America, and I'm guessing Canada, have not seen it. And as I said, whilst it was on, I was on a train. I left Wrestling Shop Live at 7:30. My train was at 8. Then took me about 2.5 hours to get back to, the train station where I live. Then it takes about half an hour to get from there to here. All in, I'm walking through the door, as I said, not too long before the stream starts, about half an hour, 40 minutes or so. So time-wise, it worked out all right. There was no mad rush. It's not like I walked in and I was like, live in 5 minutes or anything. So, time-wise, it all worked out okay. But it meant that, I have not seen a single second or not seen any thoughts or anything about SmackDown. So I'm going to be watching it on catch-up. If you've got BT, you can actually watch the show on demand after it has aired. So it's aired. So now I can watch it on demand. Now, it is just worth mentioning this. I'm actually going to need your help tonight, right? This is going to be messy. It's going to be messy because I'm watching it on demand. And what that means is I don't know if my commercials are going to be at the same time as your commercial. I don't even know if I've got commercials. I have no idea. If it was live, I don't know if there was commercials. So I'm a bit confused as to how this is going to work. The only thing I would say is when you go to commercial break, let me know, right? It might be that I go at the same time. It might be that I don't have commercials and it just goes straight to the next bit. So there might have to be a bit of manual pausing on my part to make sure that we stay in sync. It's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky, and we might fall out of sync at certain points. The only thing I would say is, this is a one-off, and it's better than just not doing it at all, isn't it? So the alternative is we just didn't do SmackDown, and obviously that's just not an alternative. So it's going to be messy. So you're going to have to let me know in America or wherever when you go to commercial breaks. And I'll have to just manually pause it. Or hopefully, after a while, after a couple, it'll be in sync. And I can just leave it then and we can enjoy it for what it is. So we'll see. We'll see. We've got 33 minutes to go, and then I'm going to hit play. Right, let's go down. Bang, bang, bang. I want to get to as many comments as possible, but obviously I need to get to these super chats. Cynthia, shout out to you. I really appreciate the support, my friends. That's really cool, really generous. Thank you. Cynthia said, Days, I hope you had a wonderful time today and yesterday at Wrestling Shop. I unfortunately will miss a little bit of Money in the Bank. I have to work until 3 p.m. Well, it is what it is, my friend, and at least you'll be able to catch the bulk of it, I would imagine. I had a great time, thank you. The only thing I wanted was when I was on that train coming back, I just wanted to feel like it was, I don't want to say worth it, but like that it hadn't been a disaster, I mean, I just wanted it to be that people that wanted to meet me got a chance to meet me, and people that came down had a great time, and it was worth it for everyone, basically. And obviously, there's multiple different things that could go wrong that would mean that maybe it didn't work for people. But it was good. It was really good. It certainly worked for me. I think the Wrestling Shop were really pleased with the turnout. I met a fair few people. I've seen loads of people sharing pictures on Twitter. There's been some really nice messages. My DMs are pretty stacked, so I need to work my way through those. But yeah, I mean, it's been brilliant. It's been a bit humbling as well, if I'm being honest, because 4 years is a long time without actually talking to you guys face to face. So I think you can very easily do this and forget that there are people behind the names. I mean, very easily, shockingly easy, like that you can forget that this isn't just text. Like, this is real people with real thoughts and theories and all that kind of stuff. And I know we talk about that all the time. Share your thoughts, share your theories, whatever. But it just doesn't always register that it's, do you know what I mean? Like, that we are a community of actual real people. So to actually speak to people face to face is pretty humbling, to have people say like, "Oh, I really love your streams." There's people saying, you got me through some hard times during the pandemic, or really love the toy hunts. They really cracked me up. Like, I just look forward to them. All this, like, it's a bit crazy, innit? I'm just an idiot in the basement. So yeah, it was really cool. It was really, really cool. And as I said, we definitely won't be waiting 4 years till we do the next one. Dingleberry said, Days, how are you watching SmackDown? I checked the BT Sport channel schedule and it's not on. No, you have to go to the website and go to the catch-up. So, unfortunately, it's not being shown. I don't know why. I don't know why they've not shown it at its usual time. You think that would make sense, to be honest, that they would show at least the repeat which would really have helped me out. But no, if you go onto the website, if you are a subscriber of BT Sport, if you log in online, then there is a on-demand section on the website, and that's where like the shows that have been shown already, you can actually watch them again. And one of those, well, all of those are the WWE ones, so you can actually click on there. I don't know how long it stores them for. Like, I don't think you can go back to like last year's Raw or anything like that. But certainly the SmackDown, I've already checked. I've got it queued up. The SmackDown that aired a few hours ago is there and ready to go. So, in fact, I had it queued up, and obviously I wanted to press play to make sure it worked. And I saw the very first thing that came on was a graphic for Droz. So they managed to get a graphic onto it for Droz, which I don't think that's a spoiler, is it? But I didn't know, because I mean, I don't know quite when the news broke through. I only saw it as I was on the train. So immediately I knew that was this week's, and I knew that it was working as well. So I pressed pause again. So yeah, Dingleberry, that's how you do it. Right, Elliot, let's get to Elliot. Elliot said SmackDown did have commercials, but they were very quick, just a minute or so. The show was only 1 hour 45 to add in the extra commercials for US TV. Elliot, thank you. Yeah, it's going to be very weird to see how it works. And as I said, I'm going to need your help here with knowing when to pause and all that kind of stuff. We'll make it work. We'll find a way. And as I said, if we are just a little bit out of sync at times, it's a one-off. It's just this week. It's just because we're in London. We know that we're all going to be watching Money in the Bank at the same time. So we certainly don't need to be worrying about that tomorrow. So really, it's a case of just sort of getting through tonight. But we'll be there or thereabouts. You know, it's not like we're going to be 10 minutes out or anything like this. It just might be 20 seconds here, 30 seconds there. You know, we'll make it work. Miss Clown, shout out to you. Hope you are well. Miss Clown obviously came down, and so your skin looks great. Oh, that was so much fun, you know. So I feel like we might be referencing a lot of things people just don't know about. So I'm going to have to keep bringing people up to speed. But there was a great moment today where we had Cameron, who's in the chat a lot. We had Miss Clown. We had Aaron. We had Wrestle with Andy and myself and Wrestle with Andy's girlfriend, all kind of there at the same time chatting away, and AP, of course, who is more popular on the channel now than I am. So all there at the exact same time. And so it was so good to have like a big chat. It was a great photo of all of us together. And yeah, I was talking to Wrestle with Andy's girlfriend. She doesn't really know much about wrestling, but so I asked her what did she know about, and she said skincare, and that's what she like was passionate about or was into. So I did what anyone would do, and I proceeded to have about a 10-minute conversation all about skincare. And we really did dig into that world. I learned about misting and the different things. There's an AM and a PM different skincare routine that we learned about as well. And we really did dig into that. So I actually have no idea if people found that fun whilst we were doing it, because I don't think I could see the stream all the time during that point. But I found it hilarious. I love the fact that we did a wrestling shop live stream and then spent a good 10 minutes talking about skincare. So yeah, I thought it was really, really fun. That was one of my favorite parts of the day, actually. Because like I kept asking her questions, because first of all, she didn't want to come on the stream. She was a little bit not shy, but you know, she was only there so for Andy, really, so that he could come down and jump on stream and whatever, and just meet people and just be the legend that he is. So she wasn't intended to get involved or have conversations. So, you know, I just sort of made sure that there was no way she could get off the hook, really. And, you know me, I just like to make it as uncomfortable as possible for people. So I had a lot of fun with that, yeah. I can't believe I missed Miss Clown and Wrestle with Andy earlier. Yeah, it was good. I can't remember at what point in the stream it was, but it was really, really good. Big Time Baxter said the live on BT was quick. The entire show was 1 hour 45 instead of the 2 hours. BT aired all in ad playing in the arena as well. WWE caught wind. It's such a shame. I don't know why that's happening, to be honest. I don't know how they're getting one over on like WWE in that way. I mean, it's just a bit crazy that another wrestling company is being allowed to advertise during their shows. Like, I don't know why that's being allowed. And you would think that they would have someone on that after the very first time immediately. But yeah, it still keeps continuing to happen. So, don't know. I suppose in a way it's free press promotion for AEW, isn't it? It must be a strategy of theirs, which makes sense. You know, you want to target wrestling fans. So that's what they're doing. They're targeting the WWE wrestling fans. Dave, Samantha Irvin said, I liked it when Rhea Ripley blew a kiss at her. I swear they should lead up to Ricochet versus Rhea Ripley, custody of Samantha Irvin. Days, did you see that Little Uzi? Oh, I am a big fan. All I do is follow. I don't think I got the notification. I've got notifications set up for any breaking Little Uzi news. So I'm a little bit out the loop here. Did you see Little Uzi dropped a song today on his album called Nakamura? And it's him rapping over Nakamura's theme. I mean, I didn't, to be honest. I didn't see that. And I'm surprised he's been allowed to do it, but I don't know. I suppose WWE are thinking, free press, or whatever. I mean, they'll have the rights to that as well. You know, they'll be getting some money from that. So because I think that music was all done in house. So I think it's WWE that's responsible for that. So you know, they'll get credits on that. So. That's quite a surprise, isn't it? Let's scroll down. Days was lovely seeing the Wrestling Shop live stream. Charlie was my favorite. I love that kid. He was so cute. He was awesome, man. He was really cool. And his dad was cool. His dad was like really, really tall. And like Charlie was obviously really, really young and like quite small. And like I was chatting to like Charlie like this. And then I was having to like look up at his dad. Who was like really tall, and like his what was really interesting about talking to Charlie was that Charlie is, I didn't actually catch his age, but I mean I'd be presuming about 6 if that, and he has been into wrestling for a year. He's been into wrestling for about 12 months, and he was into like some of the legends and everything. He was talking about like some of the Attitude Era guys and everything. I tell you, there's been some really, really cool kids. Like kids that you'd think would just be into, say, Logan or whatever. There was one kid, I asked him, I forget his name, but I asked him, like, who he thought would win Money in the Bank, and he was like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, oh, you don't have a favourite? It was like, I don't know who's in it. I was like, oh, you don't really watch WWE? No, I watch WWE, but I don't watch the current stuff. It's like, I was like, what? What do you mean? And he's like, oh, I love, like, Stone Cold and Rock and, you know, going back to Ultimate Warrior and Undertaker. And so all he loves doing is going back on the network and just watching the classics to the point where, like, I was trying to have a conversation with him about the current stuff. And he was like, I don't know. Matt, some of the people that are watching WWE that are into wrestling, just awesome. I mean, like, so... I don't know. I just never thought that someone like that would be out there that are watching wrestling, but not the current stuff. What do you think about the Bloodline? What's the Bloodline? Let's talk about Nation of Domination instead. You know, it's cool. Just really cool. Just really cool, different, interesting people, man. Days, your final chat with Bill. You didn't bring up the Days figure YouTube exclusive edition for next time he's in town. That would be a hit. Well, do you know what? It's actually, I didn't do it on purpose because it's actually something that's been brought up so many times now. I feel like, because this is actually the 4th time. I mean, I don't know Bill. very well. I've only met him. Well, I've met him a fair few times, but it's always been at Wrestling Shop Live. So this is my 4th Wrestling Shop Live, and it's Bill's 4th Wrestling Shop Live. And each wrestling shop is around about 2-3 days long. So that means, and me and Bill, we both turn up at the early doors, both get out late. So, I've probably spent probably a good 10 days with Bill, over that period, overall, those wrestling shops. And obviously, a good chunk of that time is me talking to people and him talking to people. But I think what you got a little glimpse of today are those moments where it just dies down and I'm actually able to sit down with Bill, just me and Bill, and just chat. And I mean, this is where what I do just becomes surreal. This is where what I do just becomes weird. Even I can't get my head around it. The fact that I'm in a room and it's me and the head designer of Mattel. No one else there, right? Everyone that's wanted to come along has already been and gone. It might be getting towards the end of the day. And actually, that second chat I had with Bill, the reason why no one was around was because it's doors had opened at SmackDown. So in the UK, you was either going to SmackDown, right? Or you're probably on your way home so that you can watch SmackDown, right? Probably what you're not doing at that exact moment is making your way to Wrestling Shop. So Wrestling Shop, it got quiet at around about that kind of half six kind of time. And in actual fact, I was out by 7:30. I obviously had to get my train anyway. But that last hour was easily one of the quietest hours of the day. But I was sat there with Bill. It was just me and Bill. And thankfully, I did manage to get a bit of a recording of it. But I mean, all throughout that chat, all I could see was a red light in the corner. And I was sat there and I was like, I can't even fix it. There's nothing I can do. There's no routers for me to go on to. There's no... I can't magic up internet connection, There's, I know that the coffee shop's got internet, but I also know that it's very weak. So even that's going to drop in and out. So, I mean, it's so frustrating, man. So frustrating. That's, when you just want to talk and and it's Bill and you could get really stuck into so many conversations. And then all you can see is a red light and you just don't even know if what you're talking about is even being seen. So, yeah, I ended up cutting it short. I mean, there was actually people waiting to speak to Bill, a couple of people waiting to speak to me as well. So I didn't really spend too long talking to Bill that second time, or that time later in the day. And the Wrestling Days figure thing is just a fun one that's kind of come up throughout the wrestling shops, throughout the 4 wrestling shops. I think I even joked with him about it. I said, the figure reveals, is that going to be the Wrestling Days one? His response was, "Oh, have you signed a license agreement? Have you?" And I was like, "Shut up. Don't get technical with me, Bill." So, yeah, he's sound, man. He's such a nice guy. I keep saying it, but D-Lo's sound. Everyone's sound. If you came to Wrestling Shop, you'll know I'm telling the truth. Rich is awesome. The guy that owns Wrestling Shop just loves meeting people. Just so friendly, so approachable. D-Lo, awesome. Bill, awesome, right? Me, I'm not awesome, but I do like to try and make things as uncomfortable as I can, right? Certainly if you are Wrestle with Andy's girlfriend. And so we've had a lot of fun on those streams, man. We've had a lot of fun. What I need to do is go back into them, just pull out some of those key moments, I will try and do that. Matt Carney, man, shout out to you, dudes. Really appreciate the support. We are 16 minutes away. Again, I want to try and get to as many comments as possible. But Matt, really appreciate it, man. Matt said, Days, I am generally a socially angry person who hates everyone. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. I found it amazing that over the weekend you interacted with and enjoyed all those different people. How did you do it? That actually feels like a proper question. Normally we go really deep and philosophical, Matt, but that actually feels, not too deep. It's not really a conundrum, is it? I mean, the question shouldn't be like how. So how did you word it? I found it amazing that over the weekend you interacted with and enjoyed meeting all those different people. Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, interacting, talking. This is what I do. Yeah. I mean, if you're not a stranger to the streams, you'll know that I can talk for England, right? I can just talk, right? Many of you will know that. Many of you will be rolling your eyes going, trust us, we know, right? Talking is no problem. So interacting with different people, no problem whatsoever. And certainly everyone I met, obviously, had the same interest, which was wrestling. So it's not like I'm meeting, I don't know, a monk, right? And then I'm meeting a hairdresser. And then I'm meeting, I don't know, someone that works in a circus, right? I mean, in all fairness, I think I could have good conversations with all of those anyway. But I'm talking to people that are into wrestling, right? Everyone's into wrestling that I'm talking to. We've all got a common interest. So interacting with people, no problem whatsoever, right? Enjoying talking to people. Dude, I live in a basement. I live in a basement, right? I talk to a microphone, I look in a camera, and I'm in a room on my own day after day after day after day, right? So the fact that I can be fortunate enough to go to London and have people that come out and, want to have a chat with me about wrestling or whatever and just get a picture or whatever, I mean, mind-blowing, but also just such a privilege for me. And I know it might come across as like cheesy, awful baby face type stuff, right? Trust me, I know. I can feel it. I can feel, even as I'm saying it, a little bit of sick kind of coming up, like it's really cheesy. It's really cheesy. Even it's making me like a little bit like that, right? But it is also the truth. And that's why it's just no problem. I'm talking to people that are passionate about wrestling. We've all got a common interest. Many people are obviously fans of different aspects of the channel, maybe the watch-alongs, maybe the toy hunts, and that was loud. That was loud. Like, message received, right? People love toy hunts, want them back, right? The amount of people that I spoke to that are like, love your toy hunts, but you don't do them so much now, do you? And I kept saying again, like, I was like, well, 2020, 2021, that was lockdown. 2022, shops were a little bit slow. I was going into a few places, not seeing anything new, not really being inspired. It's only really now that we're starting to get some movement. Message received, right? So I definitely need to get back on that regular. So yeah, I don't know. It's the easiest thing in the world. It was easy. It was enjoyable. I absolutely loved it. I had a fantastic time. I think other people had a great time as well. And yeah, honestly, if you was in that situation, I don't think your question would be a question. I think you would see it for, like, how it is. Let's go down. Days at the WWE live event, Rhea Ripley hit Dom Dom with a DDT, though she had some sort of powder like Scarlet and was blinded by Seth kicking the powder in her eyes, but Rhea meant to strike at Seth. Seems very house showy, doesn't it, that? I wonder if that'll be something that they actually put onto TV. Sometimes they try things on house shows and then they actually do them onto TV. I'm not saying that it's going to involve Seth and it's going to involve Rhea, it's going to involve Dominic, but it could be that Dominic answers an open challenge, say on Raw, and that's a spot then that we actually do bring to TV. So there's maybe a chance we could see that on TV. They do definitely try stuff out and then bring it to TV. So I don't know, we'll have to have a little look for that. I wouldn't put it past WWE having Logan Paul win Money in the Bank since he hasn't won at a pay-per-view in some time. And they can do LA Knight against Logan Paul for the briefcase with LA Knight going over. Wow. So Logan wins the Money in the Bank. Do a match with LA Knight, say SummerSlam or something, for the briefcase. And then have LA Knight win the briefcase there. You can absolutely do that. I mean, there's no reason why you can't do that. I think the only problem you would have is that there would be a lot of disappointment following Money in the Bank, but WWE have already shown that they don't mind disappointment. They don't care about disappointment. We ended Clash at the Castle with major disappointment. We ended Montreal Elimination Chamber with disappointment. We ended WrestleMania with disappointment. In all fairness, if Money in the Bank ends with disappointment, it'll actually bang on brand, right? That'll actually make a lot of sense. That's the Triple H way. So, I'm expecting a banging pay-per-view, and I really hope London was loud. I was speaking to a lot of people saying, you need to make noise, all this kind of stuff. I expect London to make noise, but so I hope London turned up. I'm sure it did. That's that could be interesting. I'm expecting a good pay-per-view, and maybe they do kind of give us a bit of a downer. Did Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens retain? We don't know. Well, some people know, but the show is not being shown in America for another 8 minutes. Sir Kibbington said, I've been watching you since Mania 33. You always seem a cool guy. Well, I would say you've got bad judgment, but I appreciate the kind words. Here we go. Here he is. Wrestle with Andy said, I'm back from SmackDown. She's now doing the PM routine. Yes. I believe it was, I can't remember the exact routine, but I distinctly remember her saying that you do missed for the AM and the PM routine. So amazing. Did you manage to get food, Wrestle with Andy? Because I know that you was trying to get some food. Oh, man, I've got so many questions, but I can't ask you about anything to do with SmackDown because I don't know anything. So I'm literally 7 minutes away from finding out myself as to whether it was a good show or not. I feel like it has to be. I don't really have much doubt that it wasn't a good show because, as we said, the lineup is so stacked. So Roman, Logan. So Roman's there. Logan's on Grayson Waller. Sami and Kevin against Pretty Deadly in the title match. And Asuka against Charlotte. WWE Friday Night Skincare Live. Well done. Nathaniel said mist is essential no matter what. Well, do you know what? That's very much a lesson that I learned today. I think Wrestle with Andy said that he was going to set up skincare with Scarlett, which is his partner. I don't think it's a problem me revealing her name, considering it was mentioned many times on the stream earlier today. So it's got a nice ring to it, though. Wrestle with Andy, skincare with Scarlett. So, guys, if you do want that, if you do want to see that channel come to fruition, then please bombard Wrestle with Andy. Not his channel. Let's not go bombarding his YouTube channel. Maybe just hit him up on Twitter. And, drop him some DMs, drop him some emails or something. Sometimes it can be a bit annoying if it's all in the comments on YouTube. So let's not do that. But I'm certainly down for annoying him elsewhere, and let him know that there really is a hunger there for regular skincare routine content. So I'd love to see it. Days, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Dynamite, Collision, Rampage, pay-per-views. There's an oversaturation and potential burnout. Dynamite felt the effects, doing 809K and lowest 18 to 49 since June 2020. No sports either. Well, to be honest, I think that this was the concern, was that Collision was going to take away from Dynamite, because the thing with Dynamite is Dynamite was doing 800 and some thousand, and that's when it had the whole roster, right? I know it didn't have CM Punk or Thunder Rosa or whatever, because, you know, they'd been away for a while. But by and large, you know, it had everyone that was available. Well, all of a sudden now you've got another show on a Saturday that's going to take a good percentage of that roster away. I know that you can bring Punk back, you can have Thunder Rosa back, you can, you know, bring back Miro, use Andrade. There's things you can do, but it's still taking away from Dynamite. It's still going to take away from Dynamite. It has to take away from Dynamite. So, yeah, I think the fact that they've managed to maybe hold at like 800 odd thousand, I don't know. I don't know how you quite read that now. I would say that for it to do 809 probably isn't the worst, because with Collision starting and Collision, you know, being the focus that it's been, I think the fact that Dynamite has not kind of dropped a bit lower is probably a good sign that that 800 odd thousand is pretty strong 800 odd thousand, like diehard fans, you know. Probably means that we're not going to see it to go down to, say, the 600,000s or anything. I think the diehards that have been watching Dynamite seem like they're going to continue to watch Dynamite. The problem you've got is that there has been a little dip there. It's been a little dip. But also, I think we're further away than ever to getting 1 million for Dynamite. I mean, getting 1 million on Dynamite now seems really difficult, I think. Really difficult. Because, as I said, you're going to have to you're going to have to set up a lot of big matches that would have been on Dynamite on Collision. Some of those big names are going to be on Collision rather than Dynamite. It's definitely trickier now that Collision's around. King Chris says, greetings and salutations. I hope everyone is well. Trini, shout out to you. Hope you're well. Josh says, Collision will go head-to-head with some WWE pay-per-views. How do you think that will go? Not great for Collision. Not great at all. I do think there's a crossover. And I do think that AEW are going to try and stack. They're going to try and stack Collision, I would imagine, to try and have some sort of battle, some sort of fight against the WWE pay-per-views. I don't think they'll just roll over and let those weeks, you know, see Collision get battered. So I've got to think that they're going to stand and fight, but I think WWE are going to do the same. I think WWE, and maybe this is why. I mean, there was surprise in London that we had not only got Money in the Bank, but we had got Roman and Solo against the Usos. That's the kind of match that you would think WWE might wait for SummerSlam for. You know, the rumors that Brock might be at Money in the Bank. We don't get Brock. That's not that Brock doesn't come to the UK. I don't even know the last time Brock came to the UK. We don't get Brock. So Brock's there, you know. We got Logan Paul, who's going to be in the Money in the Bank, right? So, I mean, again, you can say whatever you want to say about him, right? And I've said loads, but he's a big star. He's big star, his big name, right? So you've got Logan. You got this mega match with Roman and Solo and the Usos. You got potentially Brock Lesnar around. Obviously, Cody's on the card as well. I mean, it's hard to know really what more they could have done other than getting The Rock or going crazy. And we don't even know what other surprises there might be. You know, a lot of people are expecting Drew to return. So I think WWE are looking at it going, there are no B shows. We cannot afford to do B shows. We cannot afford to do a show that is like it was in the past, where you have like a big SummerSlam, you have a big WrestleMania, but then like, you know, your Hell in a Cell is a bit of a sleeper. You know, it's got a few good matches on there, but it's not really as big as the others. I mean, look at the pay-per-views we've been getting. You know, Elimination Chamber, Sami Zayn against Roman Reigns. I mean, that could have been WrestleMania main event. And that was the main event for Elimination Chamber. Even at Backlash, the main event was Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes. Like, it's hard to make an argument that was a B show pay-per-view. Night of Champions was stacked. Stacked. And I think Money in the Bank looks great as well. Right. I'm going to press play. So I've got a graphic for Droz. You are going to have to let me know when we go to commercial break. So I've got a graphic that says in memory of Droz. And then, now, forever. Svarta Branda said, I hope to see Logan get put through a set of ladders. Let's see. Let's see. Days there'll be a press conference. Will be a press conference after Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Thank you. Right, let's go. Let's go. Right, there we go. We're seeing inside. Mom, I might be home late. Is that Idris Elba as well? Wow. Loud. Loud. I'm just trying to see if I recognize faces. Sold out tonight. QR code in the crowd. Yes, boy, sign in the crowd. Yes, boy. So, we've just got graphics right now. The stadium looks good. Arena's looking good. Did you like that drink? No, it sucked. Sucked. I really appreciated you getting it and me trying it. But I tried it and it tasted a bit watery and then it had like a taste to it. And I'm like, I mean, I still had about half of it. I did watch Wrestling Shop live streams, and today it was busy, says Kiam. Great, mate. Right, well, I don't know what we're opening with. We've got CGI Smackdown thing in the sky. Smackdown, London, England. Let's go, baby. The following. Okay. Oh, we're opening with Sami. Sami and Kevin versus Pretty Deadly. Hey. No. No. They've changed the setup, man. No way. They've gone Backlash setup. They've gone, like, SummerSlam setup. I didn't know this. I didn't know this. So, we don't have, like, the big stage. We've just got, like, little entranceway. Still got, like, some sort of screen there. Sami making his way down to the ring. Sami bumped into Kevin. He was getting all kinds of fired up. And Kevin just had a few words with him. So, Sami and Kevin making their way down to the ring. Crowd are loud, man. Crowd are great. Crowd are great. Never doubted. Never doubted. Green shirt guy in the front row as well. I did see, someone did send me a picture saying that he was going to be there. So, Michael Cole. Oh, great. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum. The stage setup is just like Backlash. It is. Okay, I've got Pretty Deadly on their way out now. And new written on the ring gear. They've got like a CGI mirror ball as well. Love the capes. So, Pretty Deadly making their way down to the ring. I'm loving the and new capes. Even this feels like a pay-per-view. Is that an actual mirror ball? Is that one in the ring? Oh my God. They've given them a mirror ball for their entrance. Oh, they're winning the titles. They're winning the titles. You don't go buying teams mirror balls. Oh my God. Yes, boy! Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's go. I need one of them capes. I need a Jeff Capes. Jessica Carr as well. I'd be excited to see Jessica Carr, in all fairness. The disco ball. Yeah, it's sick. Loving that disco ball. It's a yes boy summer. They better not win. Canadians against the British. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. It is Canadians against the British. Going down, Canada. Going down. Yes, boy. Right, don't forget to let me know when we are underway with commercials. I can't watch on... Oh, I've gone to commercial. I've gone to commercial. Have you gone to commercial? I've gone to commercial. I don't know if it's going to be messy in it. Gods. No, you're not a commercial. Oh, God. So where are you up to? Nope. Okay. Shiny disco balls. Yes, boy. Still alive. Match just starting. Damn it. Well, in all fairness, the only thing I'm going to say is when I went to commercial, it really felt like they were meant to go to commercial there. So I think you're probably going to commercial soon. I think you're probably going to go soon. I hear the Miz is jealous of the size of that ball. How are you watching that? I'm watching it on catch up, bud. I'm watching it on catch up. Sami is fighting. Gonna be a nightmare, isn't it? It looks more like a big Christmas ornament looking at the top of it. Match just started. Days is in the dark. No commercial. Pretty deadly all over Sami. So in order to win the titles, do they grab the disco ball? I'm watching it on Fox, says Roman. Catch up, baby. You're right. We're at commercial now. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do then. What I'll do is I'll get to the end of the commercial. When you come back, let me know when you're back, and we should be there. So we'll do it that way. Hopefully, when we come back, we'll be in sync. Well, that was all right. It was about, 30-odd seconds or so? The only problem will be if your commercial break is, longer than mine. We'll sort it. We'll find a way. There's worse things in the world. I've got a commercial. I love that big Smackdown as well. So it's interesting because that one end of the O2 Arena, that one end is where the stage normally is. And obviously the stage isn't there now. So we're actually kind of seeing where the stage normally would be. So what they've got that one end is like this Smackdown sort of big banner. It's kind of interesting that you really don't normally see that. Right. I am ready when you tell me that we are back. I've got a WWE 2K23 advert So as soon as you get to that WWE 2K23 advert, I'll hit play. Hello from Lorelei and I. I'm glad you made it for SmackDown. Shout out to the both of you. I hope you're well. Yeah, we made it. It's going to be a little bit nip and tuck. It's going to be a little bit loose. It's going to be a little bit frustrating maybe at certain points, but we're going to get through this. And by and large, we should be, as we said, there or thereabouts. Yes. Yeah. Days, told my mate, went to London. Did you go? If didn't, it was one of them. Told my mate went to London. I don't know what you mean, buds. Agreed. Watching you live from Ghana. Sam Fence. Shout out to you. Shout out to Ghana. West Africa. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Welcome. It's amazing, isn't it? People all over the world. Are you guys back from commercial yet? Still waiting. I am literally sat here in the dark. Well, not literally. Days, can Bill make Uncle Howdy? Yes, that was mentioned to him. No, still not back, said Zoom Station. Okay. Nope. Sammy's woes from the crowd are less annoying than Seth's fans with their woes, said NYC Manowar. Outlaw Angel said still at commercial. Okay. That's all right. Did you catch up on Dynamite? I didn't. No, I didn't. Still on commercial. We're back. Right, I press play. Boom. Back. Yes, let's go. This program contains flashing images. That's what I've got. Got a WWE logo. It says BT Sport. Boom. Black screen. Now I'm seeing the arena. So I've got the arena. We've got a sweeping shot of the arena. It says Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship, bottom right corner. And we've got Pretty Deadly trying to get a pin on Sami. Kevin on the outside. You guys are back. Oh, are you not back? Right, Kevin on the outside. Sentom. Did you have a good time? I had a great time, dudes. I had a great time. Kick coming in there by KO. Oh, this is going to be a nightmare. If I'm just a little bit out. Kevin Owens with a cannonball holding on to his ankle. Owens getting back up to his feet. Crowd are making noise. Crowd are great. O2 looks great. KO chants. What I'll do is I won't tell you, like, the finish. I won't say anything about the finish until we're well past it, right? So I won't give those spoilers away if we are just like 20, 30 seconds out. To the outside, Sami comes in, chucks one of Pretty Deadly out the ring. Owens going over to Pretty Deadly, kick to the midsection. Trying to push Kevin away. Jessica Carr's come over to Kevin Owens. On the outside, Sami going into some ring steps. Arbora said you're about 15 or 20 seconds ahead. Okay. I wonder if I can just knock it back a touch. I don't know. Right now, I've got Kevin Owens up. Nice. Kevin Owens goes down. They're looking for the pin. And Sami makes the save. Sami makes the save. I don't know if I'm ahead still. Josh, shout out to you. How do you protect yourself from a cannonball? They always look painful. To be honest, there's a lot of things in wrestling you just can't protect yourself from. There's a lot of things that you're just going to have to take the pain. Nice German suplex by Kevin. Melissa said, I'm ahead now. Oh, I think we're probably all going to be at slightly different points But as long as we're all watching the same match, I suppose. Kevin trying to make the tag. Pretty deadly make the tag. Sami getting into the ring. Crowd are super fired up. Crowd are great, man. Crowd are really good. It's exciting to think about how great they're going to be at Money in the Bank. But you're behind by about 15 or 30 seconds. Austin said, all of you are 2 hours ahead of me. Okay. You're about 3,000 nutriseconds. People were complaining that there was some piped in crowd, said Big Time Baxter. That's interesting. That's interesting. I don't know what I'm allowed to say. This is a very difficult watch along, isn't it? Because I don't know like where we are in regards to like finishes and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know what I'm allowed to say, what I'm not allowed to say. It's very stressful. This is very stressful. There was no piped in crowds. Jessica Carr is the best ref. Will you do a setup tour? I don't have any plans to do a setup tour. Justice said, what's your day's Justice? Blind man from South Africa. Much love. Justice Brutus, shout out to you, my friends. Michael said, Sami with a blue Thunderbomb for a 2. Piped in crowd noises. I saw Michael Jackson. Come on, KO and Sami win. Well, as I said, let me know. Days, you say what you see, even if they're not in sync, it's not the end of the world. Well, I've got the match ending as well. Yeah, I've got the match ending. So I've got that match ending. Love that sign. Hi, Mom. I might be late home. Treat it like normal stream. No, boy. Okay. Your ending was probably only about 10 or 15 seconds ahead. Right. Well, people are saying Sami and KO, so that's what I've got as well. It ended just as you said. You're basically right on. Beautiful. I'm going to Money in the Bank. I'm going to be in the 10th row, but it's a very long drive there, says Roman Reigns. Well, in all fairness, Roman Reigns, you do need to be there. You are in a match with Solo against the Usos. So, you know, I'm sorry it's a long drive, but it's sort of been advertised. Pretty defeated. Pretty defeated. Sad news if you are a yes boyer. Right. Days, can Bill make an updated Bray figure? That was put to him. I can't remember what he said. He has actually got a new Bray that's on the way. Scale of 1 to 10, how loud will the LA Night Pop be? It's gonna be late. It's gonna be loud, man. Right, again, when you go to commercial break, can you let me know when you go to commercial breaks? I think there's another one that's just coming up soon. I've got an AEW advert. Corbin was the last wrestler to beat Roman. Hard to believe. Will you be attending Money in the Bank? No, we're doing the watch along, and it's going to be better than this watch along because we will be able to not worry about being in syncs. We'll all be watching it on Peacock. Who's up next? Don't know. I don't think they've announced it. They're I've got like commercial breaks. Did you see the photo with the roster in London, but they blurred someone out? Could it be Randy? I didn't see it, but I've been at Wrestling Shop. No UFC stream, not this week, unfortunately. Sad times. Usos are the best tag team. Ridge versus Theory is up next, says Melissa. Adam Pearce is here. Right. Well, I've been at commercial break. I've skipped forwards a little bit, and I am ready to come back from that commercial break. So people will have to just let me know when you are back from commercial break so I can make sure I'm back in sync again. Owens' injury looked legit, said can't stop, won't stop. Did you know Droz had passed away? Yes, I did. We mentioned it earlier. Very, very sad news. Days, Tony Khan in advance paid a premium to air ads on USA, Fox, and BT. The commercials WWE had no control over or gets any money for. Yeah, but it's crazy that those stations accepted that, you know? I wonder if there's some sort of... I can't imagine there's a law that means you have to accept. Because, as I've said before, you know, what if you're like a terrorist group that want to do something? You're telling me that if you pay the premium, there's nothing the station can do? I find... no, it would be the answer there. So, I've got to think that... I don't know. I don't know what's happened. I genuinely don't. I really would have thought that USA Network would have been, there is no price that we would accept to promote another wrestling company on our network. You know, we are WWE till we die. I find it very strange. Ian said commercial. Thank you. Yeah, I'm at commercial. Just let us know when you're back from that commercial break. People have to worry about syncing, not you, Days. Just do the normal commentary, says Fire Cable. I appreciate that. It's a real tricky one. It's actually harder than I thought as well. Because I don't quite know how long the commercial breaks are. I mean, people are telling me that this show was about an hour and 45 minutes with like little commercials in it. Well, that means there's an extra 15 minutes that's going to get added somewhere of commercials. So it's really hard to talk about what's happening, but also not ruining what's happening. And I don't know. It might be one of those where I can't really provide a great deal of insight, unfortunately, into what's going on in the show. And you lot can just sort of chat about it, and I'll do my best with it. You know, look, it is what it is. Days just got back from the show. It was unreal, and I'm so glad that we got to meet you and see you again. We are in for a treat tonight. Hope your travel home wasn't bad. No, it was quite good, actually, to be honest. It was interesting because as I left the wrestling shop, I was just about to leave, there was a few more people that turned up, so I found myself like doing some pictures and a few autographs and stuff like that. Literally, as I'd got my bag on my back, another bag, and I was like on my way. So I left myself a little bit of time, so I knew I wasn't going to miss the train. But I got there with probably about 8 minutes or so to spare to get the train, which, you know, was fine. Got on, it was comfortable, got a seat, all good. Yeah, it was all good. Not really, you know, it's a pretty simple train journey from London back to like Telford. And so, not too long as well, just over 2 hours. So yeah, all good, thank you. It was great seeing you as well. Brock only did that 3 times a year. BT Sport is also run and controlled by Warner Brothers Discovery. They're showing ads because no one wants to hear Theory say, I beat John Cena at WrestleMania. Theory has a huge future ahead of him, said Thruker. Matt said, what are your thoughts about Jungle Boy turning heel? I don't mind it. I mean, I think Jungle Boy was not quite connecting. I think that he is over with certain people, but I don't think there's like big reactions for him anymore. I feel like when he was in that feud with Luchasaurus and Christian Cage, I think there was some decent reactions there, but I mean, they just have not been able to maintain that momentum. So, thank you. They've not been able to maintain that momentum. So, it's, probably worth giving it a go. It doesn't feel unnatural. You could definitely make the argument, well, we could also have done something else. You could definitely make that argument as well, but I don't mind going in this direction. So, we are just seeing scenes of London. We're seeing Big Ben. And right now, I've got Charlotte Flair on my screen. And I've also got Asuka on my scene, as that match is going to be coming up in a bit. Charlotte against Asuka. If I'm behind you, then I'm quite happy about that. I've got no problems with being behind. In the ring, we got Austin Theory. Austin Theory in the ring, talking a bit of trash. And it's fight night. So, Austin Theory taking on Ridge Holland. Brawling Brutes. I don't know if Sheamus is coming out as well. It looks like he is. So, it looks like Sheamus is on his way down to the ring. I think if Seth retains, Drew will return and attack him and start a program for SummerSlam, says Sinan. Jungle Boy needs a name change. Well, they've been leaning heavily, haven't they, into Jack Perry. So they've been leaning a lot into Jack Perry and kind of dropping the Jungle Boy thing. Right. Bianca is strong. Ridge making his entrance. I've got that, buds. And I've got him wearing slightly different ring gear as well. So in white, Ridge Holland. Nice looking ring gear, actually. Really nice. And I really like the shaved head. I really like it. I think this looks a lot better for him. Love the ring gear. Love the shaved heads. It's very like British Bulldog-esque, with the ring gear being like blue, red, and white. Obviously, like, it makes you think, it could make you think maybe like America as well, red, white, and blue. But those obviously are the colours of the UK flag as well, and definitely feels quite British Bulldog-esque. I think the fact that he's got Brawling Brutes on the front is very British Bulldog as well. So I'm definitely getting very, very strong Bulldog vibes from what he's wearing. Ridge has got a good size to him. So he's in there with Theory. Theory going through the ropes. Ridge grabbing a hold of him. Swinging him round by his head. And again, he's looking out at the fans. Picking up Theory and dropping him down. That's very well received by the crowds. Kick out. 100% Bianca Belair strong. I think WWE should keep the stage entrance the way they have it right now. What do you mean? The way that they've done SmackDown? Or I sort of feel like it's probably set up that way because that's how they want it tomorrow. So, like, they don't want to have to set up a big stage and then change it. Just so, like, you know, for the pay-per-view. So really that's set up in preparation for tomorrow. That's, I think, the reason as to why they do it. Enjoyed the live stream from WWE Shop. If there's another time, I will pop down and say hello myself, said Robert. Robert, shout out to you. I tell you, it's Wrestling Shop themselves that need to be credited for that. It was totally their idea. They said, like, what, we've never done a live stream. Like, is that something that would be possible? And I was like, well, we can give it a go. I wasn't sure. And actually, some of my fears kind of did come a little bit true, as the connection was awful. And I thought there'd be, like, you know, maybe a bit of, like, sound issues and whatever. Lighting. I thought lighting was going to be a problem. It kind of was. But, you know, I think, like, sometimes I can worry a little bit about, like, the details and, does it look perfect? Where people, you know, just want a little glimpse. They just want to get, like, you know, a bit of a feel. Want to see, like, how many people are around and whatever, you know? So, yeah, I do maybe overthink it a little bit sometimes. But I'm really glad you enjoyed it. And I think there were some great moments that came across on the live stream. Really, really good stuff that I'm glad that people got to see. A drop kick to the throat, said Terminal 52 Films. Roman is in the UK. Okay. Roman on SmackDown. Weak match, says Kashawn. I watched some of the stream. I was surprised to see a full head of hair, said Rom. So was I, Rom. Mid-match, says let him in. Yeah, I've got a replay there of a drop kick, and it is a victory for Theory. I'm trying not to give away the endings until I see them in the chat. So Theory with a drop kick to the throat of Ridge Holland. And now Theory has jumped onto Ridge. He's unloading some forearm strikes. Really laying him in. Who's coming down? Sheamus. Sheamus making his way down, going for a big boot and chasing Theory away. So we've been teasing Sheamus and Theory for a little while. We've been chasing Sheamus and Theory, and looks like we're heading in that direction. Theory should be beating Ridge, so that's the right choice, says Austin. Yeah, maybe not the most exciting of matches. I really like what Ridge was wearing, though. I think Ridge looked really good in that ring gear. Ridge was paying homage to the Bulldogs with the gear. He said that in an interview, said Officer Cluster. No. Big Time Back said, does Ridge have a bone to pick with Solo after last week? Well, what? I can't remember last week, dude. I hope Sheamus... Oh, it's gone. What was your favorite Mattel reveal today? If I'm going to be brutally honest, Bruno Sammartino. And it's not even like a figure that's really that different to things that we've seen before, you know? It's actually the exact same figure as what we've seen, but it's just repainted. But I know there's a lot of people that won't have it. And I love Bruno. So seeing Bruno coming back in the line is really, really fun. I love the look of the Dakota. I think the Dakota looks great. I thought the Ridge Holland looked great. But I must admit, I'm not like a big Ridge Holland fan. I'm not desperate for a Ridge Holland figure. So I can't say that was one that really did much. Didn't really do much. Like... Well, I can't say it didn't do much. I thought it looked amazing. And I thought the Dakota looked amazing. Certainly a lot better than the basic Dakota that we've seen before. So, yeah, I thought they looked great. I thought the figures looked awesome. And actually seeing them in person was really special. But you know me. I love the legends. I love Bruno as well. He's one of my favorites. So... when Bill was going through, I hadn't seen him. He was walking, and then we go bang, Bruno. I went, oh my god! And then there was a great warrior in the background as well. Bailey against Shotzi. Does Bruno come in the belt? No, but I did ask that question. I said to Bill, I was like, will we ever get him with the Bruno belt? And he said, well, you know, we're always trying. He said, we're always trying to bring in the new titles, which is true if you look at Series 100. So it doesn't look like he's coming with the belt this time. But they've got to do it. I think am I right in saying? Oh, do you know? I actually don't know. I don't. That's a skill gap I've got. That's a knowledge gap. I actually don't know if Bruno was the only person to have his belt. I know that when he won it, he won a belt, and then they changed it after he became champ. But I don't know what belt. I think it was Ivan Koloff had. I'd have to have a look at that. But the bottom line is, there's a belt that's known as the Bruno belt, and it's the belt that Bruno carried for years and years and years and years and years. And I think really the only figure that could come with that belt would be Bruno. Maybe an Ivan Koloff. Days, are you not feeling like you're missing anything with Collision, like watching it on your own time? I can honestly say it feels like a well-polished rampage. I don't feel like I'm missing anything, but I don't catch up with it. I don't watch it. It's I think, to be honest, Dynamite doesn't massively grab me. Like, I think there's moments, but I don't find it to be an essential show for me. Don't know. It's just not. It's not something. It's not like I'm like crazy about Dynamite, absolutely in love with Dynamite, and so I want to watch another Dynamite. It doesn't. I don't know. Doesn't really bother me at all. I think if I had a choice, I'd rather watch Collision over Dynamite. I hear that it's good, to be honest. I hear that the reviews I've seen of Collision have been great. Really good. Love the commentary team. I think the commentary team for Collision is better. FTR, CM Punk. I mean, I like CM Punk. I'm not booing him. I don't have a problem with him. I like FTR. So I actually think if I could choose, I think Collision would be the show I would get the most from. But no, to be honest, I don't feel like I'm missing anything. Seems like a good chunk of AEW fans don't feel like they're missing anything either, because, like, as we said, even though the numbers came in, it was like, what, 595? Even though that's good for a Saturday, still means that there's a good number of AEW hardcore fans that are watching Dynamite that aren't watching Collision. So it seems, I feel like I'm in that. I feel like I'm in that group. I'm one of them 200,000 that watch Dynamite, but just don't get a chance to watch Collision. Manuel, shout out to you. Appreciate the support. The Dakota figure is good. I was planning on buying it. I don't watch the AEW shows. I still feel like I'm not missing much. I think that AEW's got some good stuff. I think they've got some good stuff. I mean, I thought that Forbidden Door was a perfectly good show. I mean, I wasn't in love with it the way that some people were. I wasn't like, I thought there was a few things on there that again didn't quite float my boat, but I thought that there was some really good stuff. I mean, the Omega and Ospreay match was brilliant, apart from the ending. Danielson match I thought was a bit disappointing considering what I was expecting, but then when you think, well, he broke his arm or whatever, and that X-ray, which I did see, I mean, that was crazy, wasn't it? So all of a sudden you go, do you know what? It's probably understandable it didn't meet my expectation considering what the injury was that he put himself through. There's a Bloodline video package right now. Yes, Bloodline video package. Days, why would you do this and not go live? Because, well, I got asked that a lot at Wrestling Shop, actually. The answer's really simple. Like, if I did that, we couldn't do the watch-along. And there's a lot of people that I think enjoy the watch-alongs. And I enjoy the watch-alongs. So if I was actually sat in the arena, I would be sat there thinking, I wonder what people are thinking of this, or my God, what a moment. I'd love to see the chat right now. I would be sat in that arena thinking about, I wish I was streaming. I can't win, really, because, would I love to go to Money in the Bank? Yeah, sure, of course. I'm a wrestling fan. I'd love to go and, watch it live. But if I was there, I would be thinking, I wish I was streaming this, It's a bit like, having a big UFC show and a WWE show the same night. Like, I love UFC and I love WWE, and you got to make a choice. Well, I'm always going to choose the community over actually going to the event. So I really don't know. I genuinely don't know what would have to happen in order for me to go and not stream. I don't know if there is anything, to be honest. I think we've got to the point. I said this to someone at the shop. I was like, do you know what? If this was 1992 and it was SummerSlam like tomorrow, I would miss it. I would not be going. I'd be streaming it. That's mental. That is mental. I mean, if you could see Brett Bulldog live, you would definitely want to do. I would want to do that. Right, I've still got this bloodline thing. Are you saying you're a bit ahead of me? Right now, I've just got this bloodline recap. Kim said, if there was a tournament where every WWE, WWF wrestler fights in a street, who would win? I think... Let's see if we can... there we go. We can fix it. Look at that. If only it was that simple at Wrestling Shop Live. Just disconnect it, reconnect it. That would have been great. I realized that AEW sucks without the stream. I couldn't find it. I was sad, said Justin. Justin, shout out to you, my friends. Days, damn, you look totally different on the stream than you did earlier. Lagman Gang. How do you fix lag once it happens? Just disconnect it, reconnect it. I mean, to be honest, if you think I stream over like 5G, so 5G is not the most reliable. It's not like consistent. I dream. My dream is to have a broadband that is strong enough where I can have wired connection, Ethernet connection. I've never had it. Never streamed over Ether. It's always been over 5G Wi-Fi. And that, it drops out every now and again. That's the truth. It's not very reliable doing it that way. But it's the only way I can do it in the countryside. So normally you just turn off the router, turn it back on again, and it works. Right. The production value is better than Dynamite, said Jeremy. Right. Let me know where you guys are. Right now, I've got a shot of the 2 Money in the Bank briefcases, and I'm literally going to Shotzi and Bailey. So we've just had a very lengthy bloodline. There's not been loads of stuff, actually. There hasn't been loads on this SmackDown. It's been a bit of a stripped back SmackDown. We got the tag titles at the start. We got Ridge and Theory. There wasn't really much to the Ridge thing. Now we've got Bailey and Shotzi. And as I said, I've got the bell just ringing, so... Bailey coming out. Okay, I've paused it. I've paused it. So I've literally just had... somehow I've just jumped slightly ahead of you lot then. That's good. I've paused it. So I've just had the bell ring. Cool. Commercial break. Okay. UK internet is really bad. I don't know why, says Andy. Max I was getting was 60 meg up, 70 meg down. Where I live, I'm getting 900 up and 900 down. What? Dude, I would dream of 60 and 70. I would dream of that. Quite often on the streams, I'm having to fumble around in the dark with just really, really like low numbers. Like I might get about like 10 uploads. Download would be some like 20. I'm probably operating on a 2010 situation. Which you can understand why we get lag, because you really don't have to have much dip in that for it to cause problems. I mean, my internet is probably good enough to stream, but it cannot weather much in the way of a storm. All right, any sort of issue, and yeah, we're gonna feel it. I mean, 900 up and 900 down. I mean, there would not be any lag on that, because even if it halved, it would go to what, 450. I'm getting 10. Mental. I get 300 down and about 5 to 8 up, said Surge. That's mental. All of that's mental. The ending was quite good, but could have been better if we got Money in the Bank tomorrow. Melissa said, LA Knight coming out with Logan and Grayson Waller. What's this? Is that where you are? I'm at the bell ringing for this. The lag started when you was talking about who would win the street fight. I think Haku, said Kim. Oh, I went Brock. I said Brock. I think the thing with Haku is that he was willing to do anything. You know, he'll gouge people's eyes out and all stuff like that. Like, you know, he'll bite people's noses off and do whatever, chomp on people's ears. Like, he was reckless. He was dangerous. He didn't know, you know, limitations. But I think the thing with Brock is he's big, he's strong, but he's also MMA trained. You know, he's a former UFC world champion. And I think that if he could do anything, you know, he's in there, he's literally fighting for his life, you know, biting, eye gouging, doing whatever. I would be backing Brock. But Haku obviously is famous for being, you know, super tough. He was someone that even Andre was a bit about. Did you see Sting getting his tough knocked out in a botched ladder spot? No. WWE fan said, thank you, streaming it later. I don't have Fox. However, you are watching it. I'm watching. I'm trying to. I'm trying to stay in sync. Elena, shout out to you. Hope you are well. Shotzi coming out now. Stone, thank you. I know it's annoying. I mean, all I'll say is thankfully there hasn't been loads and loads of things that have gone down on this SmackDown. So, to be honest, I mean, not that this, you know, it's been all right so far. The crowd have been great. I feel like this is a SmackDown that's been interesting to watch because, well, look at the layout of the arena. That looks cool. You're listening to the crowd reactions. That's cool. There's been a few fun signs in the crowd as well. That's cool. I'm also scanning, looking for people that I might have seen at wrestling shops. So that's pretty fun as well. So, yeah, you know, there's a fair few interesting bits here. But, yeah, you know, it's been a lot of video packages and other little bits as well. Stop wasting time with entrances. Awesome stream the past few days. Chris, shout out to you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Right. We should be pretty close to getting underway then. Back from commercial and they are fighting now. Oh, have you got them fighting? Okay, let me hit go. Somehow I mean, like, I somehow got ahead. So I've got Bailey circling round. Oh, if you be my girl. Chat to know that was going to happen. Hey, Bailey. Nice. If you be my girl. Knee strike coming in by Shotzi. Forearm by Shotzi. Bailey went down. It seems like she's decided that she's just going to ignore. She's just going to ignore what's being chanted by the fans. Shotzi charging over. Knee strike. Bailey goes to the outside. I don't think them fans are going to shut up, you know. Suicide dive by Shotzi. She actually takes out EO. Bailey getting back into the ring. Goes over. Grabs Shotzi. Kick to the head there by Shotzi as Bailey's in the ring. Bailey to belly. Connects. Bailey to belly connects. Shotzi goes down. Backstage, Zelina Vega. Oh, roll up by Shotzi. 1, 2. And shots coming into the side of the head by Bailey. Zelina Vega watching on backstage. Loving that they're chanting. I mean, I didn't even cross my mind. They're going again. There is a little smile on Bailey's face, you know. She's desperately trying to ignore him, but that crowd ain't going away. I love it, man. I love it. Forearm strike there by Bailey. Grabbing Shotzi. DDT by Shotzi. If you be my girl, they are desperate for her to acknowledge them. Hey, Bailey. They can't stop. Have they stopped? I think it might have settled down now, you know. Did London give up? Nah. UK crowd are great. Everyone loves Bailey. Is it pre-taped? It is pre-taped, unfortunately. Bailey. Hey, Bailey. Yeah, it's good, isn't it? I got a hot take. Matt Bornstein, the clown, was a better heel and wrestler than Dominic. He was genuinely feared by kids, says Kim. Yeah. Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. He wasn't getting the reactions, though, that Dominic's getting. I think the story of Dominic like being disrespectful to his dad, who's a legend, and his mom as well, like that was really struck a chord, you know. Even Zelina was saying she was backstage getting worked up over seeing what was going on, you know. And I don't think Doink really had anything even remotely close to that. But actually, like, in ring, he was a great wrestler, and he was quite dark, wasn't he, at the start? So yeah, I thought it was an interesting character. He was one of my favorites when I was a kid. Doink. I actually still liked him when he turned face, to be honest. And he had Dink. My brother like doesn't really know much about wrestling, doesn't really care about wrestling, but he'll still occasionally talk. If we do talk about wrestling, he'll still talk to me about Doink and Dink. It really struck a chord with him. He loved them. I like Shotzi, but I don't like Io and Bailey. They stink, said Mole Jam. Video package. Scottish Nightmare said it's WWE. You can easily predict what's happening. 8 p.m. UK time. I've seen what happened with SmackDown went off air. I've not seen anything. Okay, so Grayson Waller effect with Logan Paul coming up next. Bailey told Wrestle Talk she knows the UK love her and said, please don't sing as it would put her off and lose. And she said if the UK loved her, they wouldn't sing, so she would win, says Stephen. Kieran said, Days, you need to drink Prime. It's good for you. I don't think it's good for you, actually. You're so far behind. Why are you not watching on BT? I am watching on BT, buds. Have you guys started Grayson Waller's segment yet? Have you heard about PJ Black? Justin Gabriel has been sending footage to WWE. It would be cool to see him return. He is underrated. No, okay. Right, I've got a Grayson Waller effect that's about to start. Matt said apparently Larbins was there yesterday. Did you meet him? Well, Matt, as you would know, Bud Larbs is a absolute master of disguise. So I may have met him, and I just might not have known about it. So yeah, you just never know with Larbins, do you? He might have been one of the little kids that I was speaking to, and he might have just been in disguise. You know, he might have been AP. I don't know. Does anyone know if they've met Larbs? You've got to turn up the volume for the next segment. Unfortunately, I can't do that. Copyright, baby. If you are in the US, it starts at 3 p.m. Eastern. LA Knight is the right one now. That's a fact of life, said Outlaw Angel. Right. You need to drink Prime and support Logan Paul, says Kieran. Days, you've got to turn up the volume. Are you streaming UFC after Money in the Bank? No. No. The reason being because, first of all, I think like my voice is not in a great place anyway after 2 days of talking. I honestly don't know, like with the potential shouting that's going to take place at Money in the Bank, how much of a voice I would even have. But to be honest, after Money in the Bank, I've got a feeling there's going to be so many videos. Obviously, I need to do the review, recap, and all that kind of stuff. So, even when Money in the Bank finishes, I'm not free. It'll take me a couple of hours to do like the little review video I like to do. And then like work on a few other videos. You know, you could do countless videos. Whoever wins Money in the Bank, what does that mean? When are they cashing it in? Like, what next for these people? What did we think of the show? Do that little review. I mean, there's just so much. Like, my whole night will just be took up with that, to be honest. We're back now. Right, let's go. Let's go. Right, I've got Grayson Waller effect then. Grayson Waller effect on air. I haven't even been changing this at the bottom, have I? The Dynamite from Down Under. Wow, this is a big intro. Grayson Waller, so he's already in ring. We are back, says let him in. Shout out to you. Kyle says, now I'm back. I might be a little bit ahead. How much of a jerk is D'Lo, said Scottish Nightmare. He was awesome, man. He was so good. He was so cool. Yeah, he's got to have time to cook. Just can't be dishing out morsels when it's a WWE Premium Live event, said Ray. Okay, so Logan Paul is being introduced. Feeling like I'm just a touch ahead of you guys again. Okay, I've got Logan making his way out right now. Logan making his way down to the ring. Are you watching this live? No. Now we've got Grayson. Okay. I've got Logan making his way down to the ring. We are behind. Oh, it's the nightmare, isn't it? I don't even know if the commercial break lengths are the same amount of time. I feel like this is about as bad as it can be, to be honest. Melanie said, Days, how are you? I'm good, thank you. I'm good. I mean, I'm really pleased that we are getting chance to watch the show together, but this is about as challenging as streaming gets. What with commercial breaks, they appear to be slightly different lengths. And now I've got like Logan making his way out. Grayson's intro now, said the Beach Kevin. Who hates Grayson Waller? Shotzi got beat up backstage. I did see that. You are ahead. I've paused it. It's time. It's halftime. Okay, well, let's do that. Let's do halftime. I know we're not at a commercial break, but gods. I don't need to try and work out when to fit in halftime scores as well. So
everybody, it's the halftime scores. I really want to know your halftime scores. Put it in the chat. Halftime scores. Everybody, it's the halftime scores.
Logan just came out.
It's the halftime scores. Are you happy or are you sad? Halftime scores. Everybody, it's the halftime scores.
Right, people putting in their scores. Logan coming out now. Thank you.
Just sit here like this.
7 out of 10 said Ryan Gambler. LD Cool with a 7 as well. Seven said Zoom Station. Enjoying Smackdown 6.5. Let him in said 7. I must say halfway it's fine. It's a good show. I don't know that it's, you know, we're seeing 6s, 7s, 6.5. There's an 8 in there. A couple of 8s. Logan said boring. Doesn't seem to be one that's like blowing people's socks off. And I really thought that this show had the potential to do that. Seven, I'm just saying a random number, said Austin. Thank you. 7, 8.5. Does everyone agree a freshly washed duvet cover and pillowcase is a Dave Meltzer 7 out of 5? Random. Great show, said Rami. Go home shows are always poor, and double that if it's taped. Oh, why is Logan on my TV? Tore up for that gold around my belt line. Good match, said Melissa. LA Knight. Little bit of lag. But I've got LA Knight making his way down to the ring. I have a feeling my score will go up soon, said Christopher. LA Knight is face now. What a pop for LA. So LA Knight making his way down. We got Logan in the ring on the Grayson Waller effects. We've still got Asuka and Charlotte, and we've still got Roman. Good match, triple threat match. Santos Escobar versus LA Knight versus Butch, says Melissa. I want to see what LA is going to say here. So he's just talking to Logan. They've managed to... Gold around my waist. Did he lose to Bray? He did, yes. Oh, I do recognize some of them faces in the crowd, you know. That's a bad line by Logan. Again, I can't really say the lines because LA Knight killed it. Thank you, London, said Wisp. What's louder, the LA Knight pop or the Dom Boos, not counting how long it lasts, says Kim. Go get a pint and eat some beans on toast. I mean, in all fairness, that's a great night for me. That's my dream night. Getting a pint and having some beans on toast. I'll take that all day long, mate. Adi Bayo will be at Money in the Bank. He was on Ariel Hawani's show after SmackDown earlier, says Bonkers. Tamar said, I just can't get down with LA Knight. He's trying to be The Rock and Stone Cold simultaneously. He did an interview, actually, where that was put to him. I think it was by Ariel Hawani. And, Butch running down to the ring. I got Butch running down. Butch comes down, being Butch. Butch goes straight after Logan. Comes out, and he is just the bruiserweight. Another brawl. Another brawl. I love Butch, said Ron. Butch just took out Logan. I saw that video you're talking about, says Austin. Yeah, I forget what he was saying. He was talking to Ariel Hawani. They were talking about him being like Stone Cold and The Rock. And like, yeah, I can't quite remember what he said. It was a bit like, I don't care. Deal with it. LA Knight is great. Io and Bailey cuts Shotzi's hair. Promo was ruined by Santos and Butch. Commercial. Yeah. Virus at commercial. Can I just say, right, it might be coming across anyway. This is honestly one of the toughest streams I've ever had to do. One of the toughest streams, man. Your microphone's cutting out. Oh God, don't tell me that. Tag team matches coming. Why don't they do big stages? Is it because they want seats behind the stage as well, says Andy. I think it's just, it's a change of strategy, and it seems to, I mean, they've been doing this for Royal Rumbles. I feel like the Rumble was the first time I saw this sort of setup. And it seems to just be something that they've, started doing. I suppose it does allow them to get more people in. Sounds good. Okay, good. You're cutting in and out. Oh, it is cutting in and out, is it? The mic is cutting out, says McLean. Well, it should be okay. I've not got any issue showing on the screen. So, I don't know. I'll keep an eye on it. Small stages, get more money and people in, said Supreme Rose. They want to sell more seats when it's a premium live event. Andy said it's all good for me. No, it's fine. Mike is okay. Okay. Don't know. Who knows? One of those wild technical issues that sometimes even I'm not in control of. Mike is cutting out for muh, says Zero. Keep saying the Fiend is going to come back, said Dude Era. Not surprised Bianca shows up. When is Bianca turning heel? There's a few thoughts that it's going to be tonight. That she could interfere with Charlotte and Asuka. I had to refresh. We call it technical difficulties. The mic is still bad, said Jim. Don't know. It's weird because there's people saying that it's absolutely fine, and then there's people saying that there's an issue. So I don't really understand how the same stream can be providing different results. Maybe we've encountered a YouTube problem. Far E McSlide said it sounds okay to me. Chris said it sounds fine. Mike is good. It's fine for me. God, I've already said this is one of the hardest streams we've ever had to do. One of the hardest streams we've ever had to do, this is. Not only am I battling trying to stay in sync with you guys, but now I've got some people telling me that the mic's cutting out. I've got other people saying it's fine. I won't be too sad to see the end of this SmackDown. I'm not going to lie. And then we can get refreshed and ready for tomorrow. Okay, so refresh the stream, said She-Ram. Yeah, maybe there was like some sort of issue with YouTube or something, and maybe the stream does just need a little refresh if you've got that that sort of issue. The mic normally cuts out when you raise your voice with excitement. That is true. Do you know what? I've looked into that so much, and there's loads of little fixes, little things that you can do. And I feel like I've tried them pretty much all, and I don't think it fixes them. Riddle against Gunter should be awesome, said Melissa. Bonkers, shout out to you. Boomer, shout out to you. Days, did you go out last night and enjoy pubs? No, me and Miss Clown went out on Wednesday night. We went out for 4 hours. And I must admit, I made a bit of a mistake because I went in and I had what's known as a shipyards drink, like I don't know what it is. I think it's like an IPA type thing. Really like it. It's quite refreshing. But to be honest, I hadn't had a great deal of sleep. So I was like, oh, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start drinking. And I did for the rest of the night, Red Bull and vodka. So, you know, I'm having a drink, I'm having a bit of vodka, but I'm getting Red Bull as well. And you know, I like the odd Red Bull. You know this about me. So I had a shipyard, which is like an IPA beer. And then I switched to vodka Red Bull. Well, the problem was I was only planning on having one. We were there for 4 hours. I think by the time we left, I'd had about 3 or 4 Red Bulls. But the problem was I was going back to my hotel to go to bed. So I got back to my hotel on Wednesday night and I was like, absolutely never been more awake in my life. I was ready to go, man. I could have done some killer streams. It's like the dog in what's there? Squirrel. Just like absolutely buzzing from Red Bull. So, like, I did finally get to sleep that night, but I only got a few hours again. So, that meant, though, that on Thursday night, I was pretty shattered. Like, it all caught up with me. So, like, last night, I did get about 7 hours or so. So, yeah, pretty wild, though. That was a night out gone wrong. And it definitely affected, like, my Thursday night. Right, just so you know, I've got Charlotte coming out right now. This thing is all over the place, right? So all over the place. So I've got Charlotte coming out, so you'll have to let me know when you get there. Hey Pop Lover said Days was drunk from Red Bull. No, I wasn't drunk. I mean, I'd had a drink. I certainly wouldn't say that I was like sober, but no, the thing was that I was wide awake. In fact, actually, on Wednesday night, I left Miss Clown, went back. I said this on the stream. Got the underground, got off the underground, and some dude that worked on the underground, he said to me, I was wearing my NWO jacket. He was like, NWO? I was like, yeah. I'm into wrestling. And he went, I'm into wrestling. And he started having a conversation with me about AEW. And he told me that he thought that the second Omega Ospreay match was better than the first. So I'm involved. This is about midnight, right? About midnight in London on the underground. I'm talking to someone that works on the underground about if Ospreay and Omega 2 was better than Ospreay and Omega 1. All the while whilst absolutely buzzing off Red Bull. I mean, I've got to tell you, the past few days have been pretty wild. CM Punk should come back. It was an awesome match. What match is up next? I think it's going to be Charlotte. I mean, I've got Charlotte. I feel like this has massively jumped ahead. Did you get any famous people coming over to the live event, says Dave? Not that I'm aware of. No, I mean, obviously D'Lo was there and Bill was there. But no, we didn't see any like other wrestlers pop in by. But I was saying this to people. I was like, if I was a wrestler, this is the last place I would come to. You know, if you're a wrestler, all you get is people like asking you for autographs and pictures and all that kind of stuff. So really, if you're going to be in London and you want to just spend a bit of time in London, I don't know, doing a little bit of shopping or doing whatever like in London, the last place you want to go to is Wrestling Shop Live, you know? So I wasn't expecting to see any wrestlers or anything like that. And I actually don't know what famous people would come to the shop. I don't know. We've done 3 of them before, and I don't know that any famous people have ever been in. So, no, I can't say I was expecting them. Charlotte entrance. Oh, I wasn't that far ahead, actually. That's good. Bow down. Okay, thank you. Here's Charlotte, then. Oh, hail the Queen. Charlotte Flair. Charlotte, lovely. It is just, it's annoying, isn't it? It is just that little, that was a good few minutes there. But we've managed to knock it back in sync. 14-time champion Charlotte making her way down. I do love that screen. It looks really good above the crowds as Charlotte comes down. So, coming up next, WWE Women's Championship. Asuka versus Charlotte Flair. 8 out of 10. 1 point taken off because Charlotte appeared, said Justin. Ledger Killer, shout out to you. What did you end up eating the last couple of days? Well, Buds, to be honest, Wrestling Shop, I mean, it was nonstop, and I feel like people know that I'm telling the truth because of the live streams. Like, they're really, if you tuned into those live streams, there really was not many times where I'm just sat there sort of like, just chatting to the camera, not really with much to do. Like, I'm either having conversations about wrestling with people, or I don't know, talking to Bill or talking to Rich, or catching up with like, AP and Miss Clown and all these other people that are around. So I sort of feel like, there was always stuff that was happening. Yeah. So it meant that I couldn't get lunch, which is not a problem, right? Really not a problem. I can't say that I ever really thought about food. But Rich kept going and getting me stuff, like sandwiches. Picked up a few sandwiches and whatever. But the thing was, because I didn't have lunch, that then meant I could have it on the night time. So actually, I haven't had lunch today. And he went and got me like a sandwich. I haven't had that either yet. So as soon as I'm done with this, I've got a sandwich that I can munch into. Bray Wyatt should come up with a character called the White Wolf, said Dude Era. True Days fans remember Mama Days. How is she, says Sir Curbington. Well, do you know what? She... That's a funny story. So there was a moment earlier where Bill was just chatting away. And I could sort of tell that he didn't know that the live stream was on. He never said anything wrong or bad or anything like that. But he was just talking about WWE, and he was just, I don't know. You can sense when someone's talking and they're not aware that a live stream's on. You can just tell. Like, I've seen him when he's with people and he's really professional and everything. And he's awesome, even when there's no one around, right? But, you just let your guard down a little more, maybe. And you can, there's just maybe something that just a gut instinct sort of tells you, like, he doesn't know that this live stream's on. I promise you, he'd never said anything wrong or bad, right? But I thought, well, out of courtesy, because I don't think he knows this is on, I'm going to just put it on mute. So I just put it on mute for like 5 minutes or so. And my phone went. And I looked down and it was my mum. And instantly I knew what she was calling me for. She was calling me to let me know the stream's on mute. Everyone in the chat is saying that they can't hear you. Like, I knew she was calling me for that reason. At first, no one ever calls me. So at first, my phone went off and it was bird song. I didn't even know. I don't even know that's my ringtone. Apparently it's bird song. Just like tweet, 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 tweet. So I'm sat there chatting with Bill and all I can hear is tweet, 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 tweet. I'm like, what the hell's going on? There's a bird got in here. I don't even know what's happening. I'm like looking around. I'm like, is it trapped in the room or something? Like, tweet, 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 tweet. And so like, I ignored it because I didn't know what it was. And then all of a sudden, tweet, 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 tweet. Looking like that. And then there's my phone. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, I know what she's called for. She's watching the stream. And she knows there's no sound. And she wants to tell me that I don't have sound. Like I wouldn't know. Like I wouldn't know. Like I don't do this all the time. Like she's come to save the day. Right? Like she's riding in on a white horse being a hero. Of course I know. The other thing as well is that when they bought me those sandwiches, wrestling shop, and they were like, oh, make sure you have something. Yeah, make sure you have something to eat. Looking out for me and everything. I spoke to my mum on the night when I got back to the hotel. First thing she said, did you have your sandwiches? So all she did was sit and watch them streams, man. That's all she did. AR Banks 31, shout out to you. Days, it happens to the best of us, says Serge. I know. Annoying, man. Annoying. Asuka entered the ring. Got it. I've got the intros now. Thank you, though. Let him in. Lets me know that we're in sync. You need to change your headline. It still says Grayson Waller. That's true, Dave. Well spotted. That was a test. Bianca in the crowds. Bianca in the crowd. She's bought a ticket. She's had to pay for that, you know. Tickets were not cheap. People were telling me they were spending £100 just to get in the nosebleeds. So Bianca is ringside. Interesting. Charlotte looks great in green. Did you see Kevin Owens got injured during the tag match? I did. I don't know how serious it is. Breaking news, WWE Hall of Fame Edge is back next Friday on SmackDown at Madison Square Garden. We in Madison Square Garden? I didn't know that. Chops coming in by Charlotte. Woo! Charlotte looking for a big boot as Asuka looks for a German suplex, and Charlotte goes back into the corner. Asuka with a hip attack gets caught by Charlotte. Charlotte's with a German. Charlotte kipping up. Charlotte's in control. She's looking to charge over. Asuka with double knees. Grabbing Charlotte. Charlotte rolls over. Like both of their shoulders were down. Asuka just went flying there. That kick didn't seem to have much behind it, but Asuka just went absolutely flying. Pinned there by 1, 2. Shoulder up by Asuka. Charlotte looked like she got hit in the face with a bag of nickels. It's weird that Imperium are Austrian, an Italian, and a mute dude from Florida, said Jack79. Charlotte walking over Asuka, going up top. Asuka popping up, grabbing the leg of Charlotte, big boots, seem to miss. Some of this just seems a little off, you know. There's been a few little moments in this match where, like, there's a boot there that misses. There's a kick that came in where Asuka went absolutely flying, and there didn't seem to be too much behind it. I don't know, perhaps they're just camera angles are just slightly off, maybe. This match is terrible, says JB. WWE have said there is a Triple H after show press conference straight after Money in the Bank tomorrow, Adam. Thank you. Right as Liv said, Days, the Charlotte Asuka match already finished where I live. Yes, the whole show is finished. Asuka Charlotte having a off day, said JB. Well, I don't know actually. I don't know if it is an off day or if it was just a bit of a moment. Either way, I'm at commercial break. I'm at commercial as well. Who do you want to win Money in the Bank? Well, I'd like EO to win it for the women, and I think for the guys, it's tricky because the LA Knight situation is a weird one. It's a weird one because I can't say that he's grabbed me. I have seen some stuff from him that I've enjoyed. I enjoyed when he dressed up as Bray. And I really enjoyed his directions to where you can shove Prime, right? I enjoyed that as well. But I don't know that there's been an LA Knight match that I've really enjoyed on the main roster. And I don't know. I don't know that I've had that moment yet. I mean, I've seen a lot of LA Knight as well. I mean, I was watching him when he was in NWA. I didn't watch him when he was in TNA as Eli Drake, but I did watch him like during the pandemic when he was in NWA and we were watching NWA Power. I mean, again, we've said many times, think how amazing that Power roster was. You know, Eddie Kingston, Ricky Starks, Thunder Rosa, Nick Aldis, LA Knight, Jim Cornette on commentary. I mean, you think it's like a made-up show, don't you? You talk about it and you go, well, that was a show. And it's like, yeah, and we watched it every week and it was awesome. And we were really in with that community as well. So I've watched him there. I feel like the work he's doing now is just the work that we've seen from him for quite a long time. But it's just, I don't know. I don't know if there was a lot of people that just weren't familiar with it. Didn't know and seeing him maybe for like the first time. Either way, the message was received loud and clear that people want LA Knight to win this. And well, you could hear the reaction he got. But I think for me, I don't know. I respect him and I respect the work he's put in. But I don't, for a lot of people, you go, who do you want to win? They go, LA Knight. LA Knight. It's the immediate answer. I don't have that. If LA Knight wins, no problem. No problem. If LA Knight wins, no problem. I'll be pleased for those that want him to win. But if I could pick someone, I mean, ideally, to be honest, I would pick Butch. I'd pick Pete Dunne, and I'd change him to Pete Dunne. That would be my dream scenario. I would have Butch win in London, and I'd have him come out tomorrow as Pete Dunne. Bianca is getting involved here because she was in the front row, and I've got to say that match really turned out to be quite short and really not much to it. But she was in the front row, and she ended up getting caught as Asuka and Charlotte were fighting around ringside. She has now interrupted the match. And now we've got a whole situation here. People want LA Knight to win, but Triple H and Vince want Logan to win, said Melissa. Butch isn't winning. No, I don't think Butch is winning, but the question is, who do you want to win? Who do you think will win women's Money in the Bank? So I will. I think EO. I think EO. We've got Charlotte and Bianca arguing right now. Get out my face, says Bianca. So now we've got a little back and forth between Charlotte and Bianca. Charlotte going into those ring steps. SummerSlam is 4 weeks from next Saturday. Is it? Is it? Damn. Bianca is getting Asuka up on her shoulders, planting Asuka into the commentary table, but the commentary table doesn't break. Wow, look, I mean, Bianca is taking out both participants here. She's showing like a real edge that we've not really seen. She KODs Charlotte onto Asuka. So Bianca dealing with Asuka and Charlotte. Michael Cole said she sends a big-time message. Swinging her hair around on that commentary table. Bianca had no reason to get involved, says Jim. Charlotte Flair might win, but Bianca is manager or something. Right, up next, we've got Roman, Solo, Usos. The bloodline explodes. Cosmictron said, Bianca heel, yes. So, right, commercial break. BBB Yipsy said, Days, LA Knight has a rock aura about him, the way he talks and does his promos. Yeah, that's a bit of the problem, though, to be honest. And that's the thing that keeps getting thrown back at him, is that he is just a poor man's Rock and Stone Cold. Like, the things that he's saying, the way that he's delivering them. Like, you're right, he sounds like The Rock. But this is something that got brought up to him earlier in a video. You know, how do you respond to those that say you're just copying what The Rock did? I can't remember his exact words, to be honest. Can't remember his exact words. Something like, you know, even if I'm just close to those guys, I'm still going to be killing it type thing, you know. He is, I can't remember. I think I was talking to Rich from Wrestling Shop about this. And what I said to Rich from Wrestling Shop was, even if he is just sort of not copying them, but he's been heavily influenced by them, and maybe he's lacking a little bit of originality or something, right? I'm really trying not to be disrespectful here, because after 2 days of everyone telling me they want LA Knight to win, the message got received very loud and clear that people are fully on board the LA Knight bandwagon, right? So, even let's say, even if he is lacking a little bit of originality or whatever, look how over he is. All that says is that there is such a clamor, a desire, a need for someone that's got that kind of charisma, even if the originality is not, you know, turned up to the max. Just someone with that charisma. It seems like there was a need for that, and he's come along and he's filled it. He's come along and he's ticked that box. And it doesn't matter that maybe it's not perfect, right? For many people, it is. For some people, it's not, right? I've spoke to a lot of people over these past 2 days. I have had people saying they don't like LA Knight, right? Not many. 90, I'd say 90% at least have told me they want LA Knight to win, right? LA Knight is over. LA Knight is over. There is no one would deny that. But I don't know. There are a few that certainly are looking at him and thinking like, oh, maybe the originality isn't quite there. But my feeling on it is that he's very charismatic. There's a need for it. I think he has done a few good moments, a few things that I've liked, and if he wins tomorrow, I'll be really pleased for him. And as I said, I'll be pleased for all them people that met me and told me that they want LA Knight to win as well, because that's a healthy number of people. Matt said AEW have officially fired John Larbins, citing differences in philosophies. Apparently he wanted to wrestle a 2-month-old baby in front of its crying mother. Have they overreacted? To be honest, I'm just surprised that MJF didn't want to do it first. That would be my reaction. I think they have overreacted, because I think if MJF wanted to do that, they would let him do it. Them's my thoughts. Days Logan wins Money in the Bank, then later in the night cashes in on Seth. Then the Rollins Paul feud continues. We ain't got loads of stuff here. We ain't got loads of time. I'm looking at the amount of time that we've got left. There ain't loads. Back from commercial. Right, have you got Roman coming out yet? We're back. Have you got Roman making his way down? I got Paul, I got Roman, I got Solo. Not yet. Okay. Looks like we're just a little bit out. I think these commercial breaks are just a little bit out. Well, look, I really appreciate the work that you lot have done. I feel like you've done as much work as I have on this stream. I feel like you lot have put a shift in. Let me know where we are so that we can just try and stay in sync. It has made it a very difficult show to watch, but I'm so pleased that we were still able to do it. And at least in some way watch it together, but it has made it quite difficult. But I assure you, tomorrow we will be back to normal, because obviously there won't be any taped shows or anything. We'll all be watching it live on the network. So we will be back to normal tomorrow for Money in the Bank, baby. Virus said we got your backs. I appreciate it, man. Money in the Bank. MJF is just another slightly better than the Miz wrestler, says Sir Killer. Rob said, the real question is, did your mom enjoy the skincare tips? Well, do you know, I didn't ask her. Oh my God, do you know what she did? If you watch the stream do you know what my mom said to me when I walked into the door, right? I walked in, and this is not going to make any sense unless you watched like the stream earlier, right? So many of you are not going to get this. I'll try my best to explain. But I walked in, and I asked my mum, I said, why did you call me during like wrestling shop? And she was like, because you didn't have any sound on. And I told that story earlier. I was like, I knew that was the reason, right? She went, well, I was watching the stream. I went, well, good, but it's not really for you. And she went, there's one thing I did like on the stream. I was like, what is it? She went like this: dairy milk, dairy milk, dairy milk. That's what my mum said to me. There was a bit on the stream where we were talking about dairy milk chocolate. My mum must have seen it. And I walk into my house and she's going, dairy milk, dairy. It's so weird. So weird. She never watches these streams because she's always asleep. So, you know, she was lapping up them wrestling shop streams. I think, honestly, I reckon she watched them all day. I reckon if I did ask her about skincare, she would be like, "Oh, that was fun. She seemed like a nice girl," or something like that, you know. The tribal chief is here. Let's go. People doing some acknowledging. Look at that. Zoom station is acknowledging. What time is the stream tomorrow? It's set up, but I can't quite remember off the top of my head. But it's on the channel already. Acknowledge Roman Reigns. So Roman making his way down. You had one guy on the stream that hated The Rock. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he did. He did. Well, I mean, look, the thing with wrestling is that you are going to find opinion on everything. I mean, you might think that we might not find someone that hated The Rock, but we found someone. And there'll be someone that hates Stone Cold. There'll be someone that's... I don't know that I found anyone that hates LA Knight. I didn't find any... No one said they hated LA Knight. I think there was just varying degrees of appreciation, with the majority being that they love him. Plenty of people that hate Roman. I tell you what's really special about this as well, right? So Hogan, right? When Hogan was champion, from like WrestleMania 1 and 2 and all that kind of stuff, I don't think he came to the UK. I don't think he came to the UK during that run. If you think about Bruno Sammartino in the 60s, I actually have no idea if he came to the UK whilst he was champion. I don't think he did, but I absolutely could be wrong with that. I am not aware of him coming to the UK whilst he was WWE, because it was a territory. You know, the territory that he was champion of was the New York area. So there's not really a need for him to come to the UK. We had our own wrestling. I've got a feeling that there was some matches that were shown in the UK, but I don't think he came to the UK. Now, I know what you're thinking. Where are you going with this? Thanks. What I'm saying is, right now, Roman Reigns, as champion, is in the ring, about to cut a promo a day before he is about to compete in London as champion. That is so special for us here in the UK. Having the guy, arguably the biggest deal in all of wrestling, having him just being in this country. I don't think I can say that happened when Hogan was champion. I don't think I can say that happened when Bruno was champion. But I can say that at Clash at the Castle in Wales, still Great Britain, he defended that title, right? And I can say that he also had a match in England tomorrow when we get it at Money in the Bank. And all right, it was a tag match, but whatever. Right now, well, not right now, but earlier today and again tomorrow, the biggest thing in wrestling is currently standing in a ring in London. That's pretty sick. How is it arguable Roman is the biggest star in wrestling? Well, I think arguable in the sense of people will argue what is sports entertainment and what is a wrestler. And also, how do you define biggest? I mean, if you're going to talk about money, then, yeah, sure. But if you're going to talk about match quality, you know, then you might be looking at someone different. And again, sports entertainment, wrestling, you know, you speak to a AEW fan or you speak to someone that watches multiple different promotions, I think then that's where you might start getting people going, no. The biggest best is Will Ospreay or someone along those lines. For me, it's, you know, it's Roman. I see Roman as being like the top. I know I know like his match quality might not be up there with the likes of an Osprey or a Zack Sabre Jr. or whatever, but you know, just the biggest star power, if you will. I feel like it's undeniable that it's Roman, and I don't even think like that. Don't even think like the AEW fans can really argue that it's Omega or that it's MJF or anything along those lines. But I'm sure that conversation would rear its head. Dude Era, shout out to you. Christopher said Roman slander is fine. Whiff said match quality doesn't matter. Roman makes more money for everyone around him. If match quality matters, then Tony Nese would be champion. Soul Blue said Cody and Dom be in the main event just for the sake of a shocking Brock return. So, yeah. What's your excitement level for Money in the Bank? My excitement level for Money in the Bank is very, very high after spending 2 days talking about it. But to be honest, I just want to make sure that that I get a good night's sleep and we get our teeth into it, you know, and we do it properly. So I'm very excited, but I think a little bit. I think there's a little bit of apprehension as well. You know, it's a big stream. It's a big stream, and I haven't been around for a few days. I know I've done the Wrestling Shop live streams, and we've did a little thing with Bill and all that kind of stuff, but I am aware that like it hasn't been the ideal builds in a way, you know. It's not. I haven't done the things that I suppose I would normally do as I'm approaching like a pay-per-view. So yeah, I just want to. I am excited for it, but I think in a way I'm a bit more like just focused on making sure that we're good for that stream. Days, the subject on screen, it says Charlotte. I'll change it. Next week's SmackDown is MSG is going to be huge too. I'll always be back since I started watching you as always. Different time. Dwan, shout out to you. Yeah, have you guys gone to commercial break? I've got Roman in the ring. We got back Roman in the ring. Oh, good. Oh, wow. Amazingly, we were in the same place then. So I've got Roman in the ring. I got Solo. I got Heyman. We should be able to see this through now then. I don't think there's going to be another commercial break. So actually, for the first time, and sadly the last time, we should be in sync. Close. Okay, so I've got Roman in the ring. You think's being shouted at him? Boos by the London. Big cheer for London. Acknowledge me. London, acknowledge me. Now, what is he going to say? God, I'd love to get Roman in the ring or anywhere, really, says Maggie. For a long time, maybe 2 years. I've allowed my cousins to come out here and say we the ones. But the truth is, we ain't the ones. I'm the one. I'm the only one. In fact, his shirt says the only one. Wonder if that's foreshadowing, like Solo turning on him. I am the head of the table. I am the tribal chief. It's interesting that he says he's the only one and he's still with Solo. I'm the only one that loves the Usos. I'm the only one that's given them opportunity after opportunity. Can we focus on Solo? Some of this camera work's a bit strange. You know, family, so the crowd are chanting Roman sucks. Roman said, I'll tell you what sucks. Family that betray you. I'm the only one in this family that wants to give them a second chance. Solo will turn eventually, but not yet. Dude Era, shout out to you. Solo does look at Roman sideways. They're definitely not gonna bow. So Roman telling the Usos to bow down and apologize. Right, I've got the Usos coming out. So I'm a few moments behind, I think, some of you. That's good. That's good. I'd rather be a few moments behind than a few moments ahead. So the Usos making their way out. No new t-shirts for the Usos. Down since day one-ish. The Trinidad guy's in the front row, by the way. Only just noticed him. We already mentioned green shirt guy. Do you think we're actually trying to get back in? We're past the acknowledging. We're past the apologizing. Did you think about what happens if you lose? What happens if you lose? Is nothing. When was the last time that he got pinned? 3 years ago. When's the next time he's getting pinned? Tomorrow night. They seem to be enjoying this a little bit too much, maybe. They seem to be enjoying it. I think I'd rather the Usos come down looking just heartbroken that it's come to this. Everyone seems to just be really excited about we're going to bring you down. You know, the Usos are talking to Roman the same way I'd expect them to talk to the Street Profits. Okay, so Uso's looking over at Solo. Roman's laughing at the idea that Solo's turning on Roman. Solo looks over at Roman. I don't know, man. I feel like this is... The tone of this just feels wrong to me. You are nothing without me. Roman shouting at Jay. Jay pushes Roman. Super kick. Now, shots coming in by the Usos. Solo going through the ropes. They're fighting. It's like Russia. Civil war has broken out, said Christopher. Are they giving a hint that Solo will turn on Roman tomorrow? I really, honestly, I don't know. I feel like it's such a... It's not really... It's not really anything subtle about it, is there? I mean, to be honest, Roman's shirt feels like a hint with it being like the only one. If that's his new merch, then that says like to me that we could be seeing Solo. And then, yeah, you know, Solo just giving that kind of side look. But I don't know. It was so in your face. It felt a bit like a red herring, maybe. Over the top rope. And, yeah, so these two brawling. And looks like we're coming to the end of the show. Oh, one of the hardest streams I've ever done. One of the hardest streams I've ever done. Not because I'm, like, tired or shattered or I haven't got things to say, but because that was a nightmare trying to get that show in sync with you guys. The other thing as well is that my coverage of SmackDown has been lagging throughout the whole thing. So not only am I trying to stay in sync, you lot are telling me you're in sync, and then I'm pressing play and then I'm getting like a circle going around lagging. I mean, just horrific. Just horrific. But we've managed to somehow still navigate our way through that show. Understand what went down. Understand like how it played out in the room. And get to the end of it. So, you know, we found a way. We found a way. Mr. Dow Jr. said, tomorrow is big. Song Lyric said, did you see Jimmy's interview when he stated that Trinity wishes to return? No. I haven't seen it. I've been in wrestling shop, dude, so I haven't seen anything. I am out the loop. J-Love said, kind of looks like Roman was saving Jimmy from the security, but he just wanted to beat him up some more. Days, we did make any inways on the Makina Mini Elite line, said Robs. Well, I spoke to him. I mean, I spoke to him on camera on, was it Thursday night? And I said to him on stream. So, I mean, you can see me proposing it. I said, like, how about we do like these little figures, because I am hearing that people are running out of room. And his answer was, I've nearly ran out of room several times. But if you're a collector, a serious collector, you always find room. And he wasn't saying it in a nasty way. He was saying it in I am a collector. I am one of you. And you just always find room. So, you see, I think they would look cool. I think you could make them super collectible. I think you could do packs of like 5 or 6 different, say, Seth Rollins with different attires, or, you could have like really, you could have your Judgment Day pack. You could have your, LWO pack with all of them in. Because if they are figures that are only about that big, I can't imagine they're going to be that much to manufacture. The cost of the plastic and everything, because of it being less, I've got to think it's going to be cheaper. Certainly, it's going to take up less space in a packaging as well. So you should be able to get 4 figures, 5 in the middle, or whatever. I kind of think like I feel like there's probably something there, but I don't run Mattel, and it's not my money. So all you can do is go, have you thought of doing this? Have you thought of doing that? And, it's up to them as to whether they think there's actually money that can be made there. So I don't know. He took it on board. The thing is, I did a little sit-down interview with Bill, and, a lot of people are like, oh, can you make Uncle Howdy? Can you do KSI in a prime bottle? All this kind of stuff. The thing is, with that, you're never going to get a yes. Like, there's no way you'd get a yes, because he's not going to commit to something and then, potentially not do it. What he's going to say is he might go, that's interesting. Yeah. Man, if they've got a license deal. Like, if they, anyone, the standard answer he used to give me, because I've done wrestling shops with him before, if ever it was like, could we get an LA Knight figure, right? The answer he used to give me was, well, anyone that's under a license with WWE, we are able to make. So as long as he's got a license, can't see a reason why we can't make them. And that was the standard answer. So, if someone went, oh, can you do Jeff Hardy again? Well, he's not under a license agreement, so at the moment, that's not going to be possible. Can you do LA Knight? Well, as long as he's under a license agreement, then he will be available for us to make. For the longest time, he gave those kind of answers. The only thing is, when you talk to Bill, he's got to give those answers. I get that. But I think there's something quite satisfying about at least knowing that the man who oversees making the figures has heard your suggestion, right? Even though he might be saying, like, the politically correct stuff, you sort of hope that in his head he's going, there might be something there, There might be something there. So you're sort of hoping that in his head he's thinking that. So really it's just a case of just, getting your idea across. But I would never expect him to turn around and go, yeah, we can do that. He won't do that. He won't say that. Because even if he thinks it's the best idea he's ever heard, he's still going to want to keep it a surprise, isn't he, for in the future? If they do actually make it and bring it out, they're not going to want you to know that they're doing it, so that when they reveal it, it maybe doesn't have as big of an impact or whatever. So, yeah. All you can do is really ask the questions. No one's going to watch Collision tomorrow, said Justin. Love the ending and the segment closed the show. Roman looked like he's losing weight. Bloodline story is like a huge epic opera with every emotion displayed gloriously. I've loved every minute of it, says Maggie. Usos will win tomorrow. Jay no-selled the Superman punch, said Adam. I told a cop today it's poor sportsmanship to turn your light on after you lose a drag race. So I've got caught NXT month. Huh? What? I feel like I've walked into the middle of a conversation there. Emperor Youngboy said, Dace, what if Brock doesn't intervene? Well, I think that would be a massive surprise. What with that match going on last, apparently, you know. I mean, if he doesn't intervene, Rhea will. Judgment Day will. Don't know. But even that wouldn't really feel big enough to have it as the main event, would it? So, I don't know. It really feels like he's going to. Did you hear that Wade Barrett said Adam Cole on SmackDown by mistake? No, mate. No, I didn't. Will you do Money in the Bank and UFC? No. We answered that earlier. Why is Paul Heyman still holding the belts? I think they just want Roman to look like he's got as many belts as possible. I think they just want it, like, you know, it to look like he's drowning in gold, when actually he should only really have the one that's around his waist, because that symbolizes the other two. So I think it's just to make him look. I suppose if you're a casual fan and you see someone with 3 belts, it just looks visually very impressive. Like, you don't even need to be told this is the guy, with how epic his entrance is, how slow he comes down to the ring, the fact that he's got those 3 championships. He's even got someone that carries 2 of them for him, so he doesn't even have to carry them himself. Like, he just brings them down to the ring for him. So all of that, I think, just works towards and in favor of making Roman look like an even bigger star, you know. Logan called Waller Grasson Dolan. Do you think Brock will interfere against Cody Dom? I think so. He has conflicts with both of them. I am expecting him to. That was the big talk at Wrestling Shop, was that he would. And now I've come on the stream and I've been told that apparently it's going to main event tomorrow. So that just sort of reinforces it for me. Can we all acknowledge that the Usos made it through customs? Perhaps Triple H put them in his hand luggage and managed to, like, sneak them onto the plane. Fair play, WWE. I like the Wrestling Shop stream, said Legend Killer. That's good. That's good. Ray, shout out to you. Civil War should end the show. I agree with that. I agree. Even if Brock's coming back, I agree. The only thing I would say is it's hard to judge until you've seen it, you know? It's hard to judge until you've seen it. I think we'll have a much better idea if they got the match order right after the event. Right now, I think that the Civil War should end the show. But I don't know. Perhaps they've got something else planned other than Brock. Perhaps Brock's not going to be the big surprise, or maybe not even the only surprise. Really don't know. I feel like Brock's going to be there and involved. And in all fairness, him being in London is going to be massive. Because I don't know the last time he came to London. I really don't. WWE, I'm sure, will tell us. Because I don't remember it. I would go as far as to say I don't even know if he has been in London since he returned. But he must have. Like, didn't he return in, like, 2012? So, like, over the past 11 years, he must have. But, I mean, I can go back to about 2018, and I certainly don't remember him. So, that would be about 6 years. So, did he come over in the 6 years before that? It's one of those, you'd have to go onto, like, Cage Side and, like, Cage Match and, like, go through his matches. And although he could have come over and done a promo, in all fairness. Either way, it's been a long time. Austin said, I don't think Cody Dom will main event. WWE is calling it a triple main event. So Roman, Solo, and Usos likely main events. How could it not? Well, that's a good point. I mean, I don't know. It depends how it's worded, doesn't it? If people are saying that Cody Dom is the main event instead of one of the main events, It does. If someone says this is the main event, then it does suggest that it is going on last. So I suppose in a way wording is very important, but of that. Maybe it could be that someone's misinterpreted it and it is a main event rather than the main event. I don't know. I don't know what you crazy cats have been up to whilst I've been in London. We'll probably get a much better, clearer idea tomorrow. Days Roman came to London with the Shields. That was their first appearance, says Maggie. Brandon said, big WWE day tomorrow. Money in the bank. Sir Killer said Dom is going to get nuke heat when he pins Cody for the upsets win in Money in the Bank buckets. LB said you crystallized my thoughts exactly about LA Knights. We will have more answers tomorrow. Well, we definitely will. I couldn't watch AEW without you, says Let Him In. Let Him In, shout out to you, buds. Yeah, I mean, look, we are in the process of wrapping things up here. I do just want to say a big thank you. I want to say a massive thank you, I think, to everyone. And I know it's all lovey-dovey and everything, but I'm feeling pretty lovey-dovey after being in London for 2 days and meeting so many great people, having so many great experiences. So I am feeling a bit lovey-dovey. But no, for those that came to Wrestling Shop and said hello, I mean, I didn't meet one person that was off or moody or I didn't have a nice experience with, nice time with. Everyone just great. Everyone was just great. Every single person I met, and I mean it without exception, every single person I met was wonderful. I had no bad experiences. No, nothing. In fact, I'll even tell you that I think I might have given a bad experience. I might have given one, right? And it has played on my mind a little bit. And I'll tell you how it happened. So this is how honest I'm being. I'm actually telling you that I might have dropped the ball. And I'll tell you about it in a second, right? But yeah, so that's amazing. But the other thing I wanted to say thank you for was for those that maybe didn't go to Wrestling Shop or did and have still come onto this stream, right? Because a lot of you could have found the show earlier, right? And watched it of your own accords. Like many of you didn't have to be here right now. And you could have watched it and found a way of watching it. Or you could have just watched it on your own, you know? I mean, to be honest, because this is a taped show, I had no idea how many people were going to be around. I can see that, like, you know, we've got over, I think it's about 8,000 views for this stream. Just over 8,000 views. I think our normal SmackDown streams are around about 10. So considering this is a taped show with a, you know, not a small number of our community actually going to the show and actually popping in to say hello to me before they went there. The fact that, you know, that's happened and we've still got like a really good amount of people that have joined us is like, you know, awesome. It's really awesome. So really just, yeah, appreciate it. In regards to that story, I will tell you it. So I was talking to these two guys and they were quite honest. They were like, look, to be honest, we don't watch your channel, but we do love talking about wrestling. And I was like, dude, that's what I'm here for, right? I'm happy to meet people that know about the channel. I'm happy to meet people that don't know about the channel. Like, let's go. And like the one guy, he had a Cody weight belt. And I was like, I'm loving the belt. And he was like, yeah, I got it for my birthday. The other guy was chatting to him. And I spoke to him for a bit, right? I mean, I 5-10 minutes, spoke to both of these guys. Lovely. I was super, like, you know, friendly as always. They were great. And we had some really good conversations, just chatting away. They'd got some merch. I mean, they were decked out, cap, shirt, you know, all this kind of stuff. And I was talking to them. And then I think it was Wrestle with Andy that arrived. I can't remember if it was Aaron or Wrestle with Andy that arrived, and I know both, right? Wrestle with Andy, I've done a video with where we talk about figures, and also he jumped onto a WrestleMania prediction stream in the past. And so I know what he looks like, even though when you watch his channel, I don't think he ever shows his face. I know what he looks like because of doing those videos with him 8 years ago, right? So as soon as he came in, I was like, wrestle with Andy, right? And he said he might be coming down anyway. And the same with Aaron. Aaron, who's in our chat, he is also someone that recognized straight away. He sent in videos to the Wrestling Escape Pods. He's been a member of the channel for ages as well. He's, sent in videos for the members stuff that we do. So again, as soon as he came up, recognized him straight away. Well, the thing was, right, I can't remember. I think it was Wrestle with Andy, but he was kind of like standing around at the back. And Miss Clown and a few other like community members were stood over there. So I'm chatting to these two. And as they're chatting, we're chatting away. I just turned around and I was just like, I think I said, Miss Clown, like this. And I think I shouted over to Miss Clown. I was like, key community member there. You go and have a word with them because you're going to want to talk to them. So that's all I did was just key community, go and talk to them. Turn back around to continue my conversation with these two guys. They'd walked out. They'd gone. I think they thought that I was done with them. That was it. Time's up. And so they walked out. And I looked as they were going they'd gone out and they were walking off away. And that is the only point in the whole of the 2 days. The only point where I went, because I have no idea. They might have gone, oh man, he's rude. That's a bit rude. He's rude, isn't he? He's just completely moved on to some other people. I knew there was something about that guy. When all I was doing was I was just trying to get then when I turned, they were gone. Oh man. And that proper that bugged me out for a little bit. I was like, oh. I'm not worried about them ever coming on the channel or anything, but you don't want people coming down and having any kind of bad experience. But I mean, it was my fault in a way because really I should have said, "Oh, just give me a second." If I'd have just said that, that would have let them know I am coming back. Just give me a second. But I thought I'd be even quicker than that. Right, because there's talking about wrestling, whatever. Yeah, I like Cody, and I think he actually turned to his friend and was like, "You're not a fan of Cody, are you?" And it was just that brief moment where he spoke to his friend that just gave me a window where I could go, Miss Clown, you might want to talk to this person over here, key community member. Turn around, gone. So well, it is what it is. But that was the one that I if I could change one thing from those 2 days, I'd change that. I would I'd say just give me one moment because I've got a few community members that actually know each other but are not talking at the moment because they don't know what they look like. I would just tweet that bit. But no, I mean, look, that's why I was saying thank you because, as I said, for everyone that I met, I've just told you what I dropped the ball on, so this is how you hopefully know I'm telling the truth. But for everyone that I met, it's just amazing sound. Everyone was brilliant. And then, as I said, for you guys, you didn't have to rock up here, but I'm very appreciative that you did. And that's it. We're done. We're going to shut the shop. Shut this baby down. I always like to do the 1 minute recap things. But to be honest, it's a bit of a weird one tonight because the good chunk of people that have already seen the show, I think the results been out there a while. I'll definitely still do it. But it's probably not got the same degree of urgency about it that it normally would have. So what I might actually do is just have a bit of an early night what with tomorrow being so big and being such an important day, it's probably wiser that I don't spend like 2 hours now, 2.5 hours doing that 1 minute short for an episode that was shown super early in this country and has now already been shown in America. So yeah, I think if anyone's going to wait for that, it'll probably be put on the back burner for this occasion, and get myself nice and ready for Money in the Bank. And as we said, it's going to be a big stream. Really looking forward to it. We will be in sync. Everything's going to be great. We go back to normal tomorrow, and it's going to be a very, very exciting show. So awesome. Thanks a lot for watching. Really, really appreciate the support, and I will see you tomorrow for a massive, massive show. Bye for now.